We want to. We really, really want to. Hey, folks, this is Walt, normally from old school games being played by sci-fi writers, or sci-fi writers playing old school D&D. But tonight we are playing Savage Worlds, and today we have the writer of The After, which is a great setting for Savage Worlds, conceptualized by our good friend John, written by Sean. How are you, Sean?
I'm having a good day. How are you doing?
I can't wait to see what trouble these guys get into. And speaking of trouble, we're going to start off at the top with J-Mac, who is muted.
Yeah, I'm a little muted. Hey, how's it going?
And who are you playing today?
I actually, I'm not sure. Kikari, I believe is the name.
Right on.
Kidakari. Small alien rogue type thing, I think. Yep.
Right on. Be sneaky, be alien, be cool. Speaking of cool, we have Snookin rocking his new puppy.
Hello.
And who are you playing today, bud?
Today I am playing Lily Sullivan,
who is a psychic of some sort, I understand.
Seems that way. Looks like she can do some things with some animals and do a little bit of protection stuff.
Right on. Speaking of animal, Chaos Actual, Mr. Nick Cole. How are you, sir?
I'm turning red, and then I'm turning white. There we go.
That's talent.
Green screen extraordinaire.
I'm so happy to be here. This is going to be fun. I love post-apocalyptic stuff.
We would never have guessed with the amazing Old Man in the Wasteland series. Some of the stuff that you did in short stories, such as what was it, C04N5?
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, where I made Conan a cyborg and basically set him in a post-apocalyptic future, and it actually works.
It was really good.
Yeah.
That was a really fun story.
It explains why Conan doesn't get civilization.
And speaking of getting no civilization at all, we have Sparky.
Yes.
And who are you playing?
Here. I am playing the changed technician, Karks. I think I have the pronunciation right. I'm not. I might be a fool. Well, we know I'm a fool, but.
And I'm sorry. Speaking of being a fool, Nick, I did not ask who you were playing.
I'm playing Garth Hernandez, Scout.
Excellent. Because that is fitting. Because you might have done some infantry stuff back in the day, didn't you?
I ran around with the humpers and humped and walked and bitched and complained and slept in a mud puddle for 2 weeks on end and all the fun infantry stuff.
Yes, like you do.
Yeah.
Well, Sean, we are ready to get it on. So please, by all means, take it away.
Cool. Well, welcome to The After, everybody. Do I need to kind of introduce the world?
If you would like, go for it.
Okay, so this is a post-apocalyptic world, but it's a little different from the kind of world you're going to see in a lot of other role-playing books. The concept of the apocalypse in this world was not one alien invasion, but two. First came the Butchers. They EMP'd the entire Earth, landed, and began to do all of that classic alien stuff that you see in really scary science fiction. They wanted to devour the biological life on Earth, twisted into strange and mutated forms, and in order to do that, they landed, kicked everybody's butt with crazy sci-fi weapons, and then started making wild, changed creatures with their own twisted biotechnology, and releasing those armies of mutants on to the Earth to further their own means. And they had their way with Earth for decades. They nearly exterminated humanity. And this was followed up by decades later, the arrival of their own enemy, the Ghosts, a weird extra-dimensional race of aliens that were so far gone from our 3 dimensions that they didn't make any sense. It was kind of like the color out of space. No one's even sure if they had physical bodies, but the point is that they came here to whoop up on the Butchers, which sounds great for us, except that it turned our planet into a battlefield. And the Ghosts brought with them breach technology, which is weird extra-dimensional stuff that tore holes in our world and left chunks of other alien worlds deposited here. It was a really bad time. Now, up in the mountains of Montana, there was a group of people that made it down into some mines where they had a survival bunker. And even better yet, they had an absolute load of books, which over their decades in the dark became holy. Not that they worshiped them like a religion, but in the sense that they were the only repository of the knowledge of the old world. Everything else was swept away. So this isn't the kind of game where you're going to have like Fallout style references to 1950s stuff. All that has been gone. What happened after the aliens chased each other off the planet and everything was left behind is what you didn't have was a smoking, blasted nuclear wasteland, like a lot of post-apocalyptic games. Instead, the Earth was troubled, but it was mostly without humans. What was left behind were a bunch of strange, changed creatures that were sometimes more dangerous than before, and a lot of breach zones where there were places where the laws of physics didn't apply and there were strange new biomes. But what's great is in the Wind River Valley, where we start, the people were able to come out of the mines and make a pretty good start at rebuilding a civilization. What they found out, though, was that the legacy of the Butchers was enduring. The Butchers had blasted our planet with all kinds of weird energies, and they left behind nanites everywhere. These weird biomechanical nanites that specifically were meant to seek out and disable human technology. What that means is that in Chapter, you're pretty much stuck at an Old West level of technology, right? If you were to find a computer, it wouldn't work. If you were to find a generator, keeping it running would be a struggle. Things degrade because of these nanites at a greater rate than in the old world. And sometimes it gets really weird. I mean, it's one thing when your rifle starts growing green mold. It's an entire another thing when it phases in and out of dimensions or starts talking to you. Between the nanites that the Butchers left behind and the weird, creepy breach energy that was thrown upon this world by the ghosts, you've got a lot of weird phenomena out there. But what is true is that the water is clean, the air is clean, there's plenty of space and land to grow things. It's just a matter of survival. So that's where we start, in the city of Chapter, which is kind of it is the biggest settlement in the Wind River Valley where the After takes place. It is not the only settlement, so if you wanted to run this game at home and Chapter didn't do it for you, there are other places to set your game. But this is where we're going to start. And Chapter is ruled by an elder council. It's not a democracy. These are the same folks that were in charge when everyone was down in the mines. And they had to keep kind of an iron grip on folks because, well, if you get locked up in the mines for literally decades without sunshine or enough food to go around, there have to be rules. Right? And one of the things that you can touch on in a campaign of the After is what are those rules going to look like now that everyone's out on the surface? You've got safety, you've got walls, you've got a militia protecting everyone, you've got good farmland and herds. What happens next? And that's something that in a long-form campaign of the After, the player characters can get involved in. How do they want to see Chapter governed? What do they want to do? There are lots of factions in the main book that you can join. Now, we're not going to play that long today. It's a short demo. So we have the group of characters meeting in Chapter because they have been summoned. You have been summoned specifically by Old Man Crow, who is a greatly respected man in Chapter. He is a mysterious seer and prophet, and he is widely respected as a powerful bearer of the boon, which are the weird powers that some people are granted by the breach energy that is all over the world. Lelia Sullivan knows Old Man Crow. When she came into her powers, she didn't know how to control them. They were tearing her mind apart. She sat with Old Man Crow in his cave outside of town, and he trained her. And when Old Man Crow comes into Chapter, people notice. And when he starts asking for certain folk, well, word gets around fast. In this case, you guys are the ones being asked for. So you guys are right here in the council house in Chapter. Now, the Elder Council is not in session. They're not all here. But Old Man Crow is here. And he looks like this. Is that showing up for you? There we go.
There we go.
And he's got a couple of crows that hang out with him, and he beckons you in close. He says, hey, I dreamed of you all last night. I knew you'd come. I have a need for some work to be done. Chapter has a friend out in Thunder Gulch, about 2 days' march from here. East along the mountain range. Xavier Wong is his name. He's a scientist. I think he's got some bad blood with Allie Morgan. She runs the labs here in town, else he'd be safe within the walls here. Anyways, I need you to go out there and see to his safety. I had one of those dreams about him right before the one about you. And there was a lot of fire and screaming. Big Jim, who runs the militia, he won't send none of them out that way till he gets a concrete report of real trouble in the area. And the Scouting Guild has most of their folk out bushwhacking new trails for the spring. So, it falls to you. Unless, of course, you had something better to do. What do you do?
I spit some of my dip off on the floor. And then I say, well, dreams is good and everything like that. But your dream tell you how much I get paid to do this?
Typical mercenary. Of course you are. We put up walls. We run a militia to keep you safe, boy.
Phil's dead like no tomorrow, just for fun. But everything else costs money. Whore will tell you that.
Sad days these are.
Yeah, I bet.
Tell you what. Come back successful. Each one of you that comes back, I'll see to it that you get a riding horse and a saddle. Horse of good health.
Well, I don't know about that. I lost all my stuff in my last caravan. I got to start reacquiring.
Yep, horse is a good start for that.
Yeah. You got sway here with this town?
Well, you already know who this guy is. He's on the council. He's absolutely got sway. Also worth mentioning is that money like gold pieces in D&D isn't quite a thing. Society's not developed that way yet. So there's a lot of barter. There's a lot of objects. There's a lot of, if you do this for me, I'll let you winter over in my place. Because the winters in Wind River Valley are brutal, if any of you've been to that part of the country before.
Well, I can't speak for everybody else, but I guess I'd say this. I could see my way to get this done if I was to be accepted as a trader with a verified run between this city and the next, and I was to handle all that business. Basically, you would respect me as a person who gets first dip at the trough when the cold water pours through the morning.
And he kind of sucks on what's left of his teeth, and he thinks about it a minute. Why don't you roll persuasion?
I would love to roll persuasion, stepping out of character. Let's see. So we're going to go to persuasion, and I have edges and hindrances, which I'm playing. I have luck. I'm overconfident is a hindrance. So that's probably not a good thing. Probably in a lot of trouble there. But I roll a D8, so we roll that. And the dice say, whoa, doggy, chum dingo. Let's go with the 7 and 11. But there was a decent.
Yeah,
you tell me what.
Yeah, well, what you've got here in Savage Worlds, you roll you normally roll a dice equal to your skill. However, all of you player characters are special. You're what's called wild cards. So you get a wild dice, which is an extra D6, which is that second number you see off to the side.
Okay.
And in Savage Worlds, you don't add those. You take whichever one's better. So in this case, you roll a 7, which is pretty good. So Old Man Crows nods his head a little bit. He says, well, you go out there and see to Dr. Wong. And when we get back, we'll have another conversation. I think I know some people you might like to talk to.
All right. I'll spit on my hand. and hold it out to him.
Oh yeah, he doesn't flinch. And as you lean in close to grip his hand, you get to smell the very special odor of Old Man Crow.
I am standing safely out of old man smell range.
Yep, dude lives in a cave.
cautious.
That's all I've got to say about that.
You get used to it after a while.
But
I'll turn around to the rest and I'll say, well, I don't really much know the rest of you, but if you can get killed as easily as the next person. So if you want to come with me, I'm going to go get this done.
And this is something else that's interesting about the After, as opposed to like your standard D&D game. You all probably do know each other.
Okay.
And the reason for that, there's only 1,000 people in this town. That's not very many, right? So it's a setting where what you do matters, because if you cheat someone, you're going to see them again.
Yeah.
If you save someone, your reputation spreads fast. You're not a faceless adventurer in the mass of 100,000 people just like you. You know, you're not one body on the streets of Waterdeep. This is a setting where what you do absolutely matters. I think that's really fun.
I do too.
And Garth is going to run out of women.
Yep.
That's true.
That's the whole reason he trades, right? A lady in every port. Okay, so is everyone in line with the price that Garth has negotiated for you?
A horse is always good.
Yeah, a horse and a saddle is kind of a big deal. Like, if you didn't want to keep it, you could certainly trade that in for a chunk of stuff.
Yeah. I am satisfied. My character is very cautiously considering it over, but he ultimately agrees. Like, sounds like a deal.
Excellent. And Old Man Crow will provide you directions on how to get to Thunder Gulch. It's not that far. Getting lost is not really a thing that's going to happen. He can also see to it that you guys are going to get a few days of trail rations to make sure that nobody starves in the mountains on the way out there. So you guys are going to be able to make your way out out past the walls and down into the wilderness. There is some farmland lying around Chapter, but not as much as you'd see, of course, in a gigantic city. And it very quickly becomes a pretty lush area with the mountains looming up. It's very beautiful countryside. And you guys are going to travel for a couple of days. You can see that the spring plants are blooming. There's wildlife that scatters before you, lots of deer and rabbits and all kinds of stuff like that. And eventually, after a couple of days of travel, late in the second day of your march, you're going to get to the entrance of Thunder Gulch, which I will throw out there for you guys to see.
That looks pretty. I feel like I should break out a fishing pole.
I know, right? That's actually from that real area of the world, which I think is super fun.
I put my toe in that.
But do the fish have 3 eyes?
Are they
Some
safe
of
to
them.
eat?
In general, yeah. I mean, if you pull one out of a stream that looks super weird, you might not want to. One of the things about the Changed, especially, that you might notice with your buddy Karks over there, is it's not all necessarily like gloopy post-apocalyptic mutations with 3 eyes and tentacles. Some of the stuff the butchers did was turn creatures made out of perfectly good meat into like half biomechanicals. So whereas like in a standard post-apocalyptic world, you'd see mutations. Your skin would be funny. You might have like a poison spray or, like you said, 3 eyes. In this case, you might see a changed creature that's like growing weird plastic parts and has like LEDs under its skin, or, a speaker grill embedded in its head, all kinds of weird stuff like that. And your buddy Karks there has spikes on his forearms that aren't bone. If they're metal, you're not sure what kind of metal they are, but they're pretty strong. They do tend to bleed around the base, which is why he wraps up his forearms in rags.
Don't mind that. It's just
You're
they do
disgusting.
that.
Yeah, and if I remember rightly, your knees also bend backwards.
Yeah, I was looking at that earlier. I'm like, that's interesting.
Yeah, and you've also got subdermal plating under your skin, which if you were to be seen, shirtless or whatever, the lines of it would be pretty obvious. And that is all stuff that you were born with. The nanites that the butchers inflicted on the earth act upon genetics in some weird way. Nobody's really quite sure how it works, of course, with all the scientific equipment pretty much disabled. It's been a long struggle to understand what the butchers have been doing.
Yeah, Garth, I was just born this way. Stop being so judgmental, man.
Yeah, it's worth saying that in some parts of the setting, the changed are discriminated against really, really bad. Chapter tends to be a little bit more open for all manner of beings. That's what they accept. The two alien races that we have as potential player characters in this demo came with the butchers as basically stowaways. The Helot race, which is Glurk, who's not being played, were kind of a big, dumb workhorse alien. And then the Scav, which Kitakari is, they actually were stowaways in the butchers' holds. And when the butchers landed, they sneaked out onto the planet's surface to try and make a new life. And it took some time, but they've both been accepted into human society, more or less.
Unlike some of us.
I was going to say this sounds almost like a family history.
Okay, so you're going to arrive at the entrance to Thunder Gulch pretty late. The shadows are getting long. This particular canyon is about a mile wide, and from what you were told by Old Man Crow that it narrows as it goes, and it's surrounded by towering mountainous walls that are pretty cliff-like. You can see in front of you the rolling terrain of the gulch. It's lush with bushy, flowering undergrowth and small trees that limit visibility in some spots. And right down the middle of the gulch is a stream that doesn't have a name. And at this time of year in the spring, it is rushing powerfully down from the mountains. If you guys want to test it, you'll find that the water is clean, cold, refreshing. But you are concerned that if anybody tried to swim across, it could be bad. They could easily be swept away with all the meltwaters coming down from the mountains.
I would like to try to use my notice skill, smarts, to see if there's any ambushers up in the rocks of the steep sides of the canyon, or any scouts or spotters.
I can roll that too.
Yeah, we can take a couple of notice rolls. That's fine.
Okay.
Okay, super. So the group of you do a really good canvas around your campsite before the light fails on you. And you are able to find that, as far as you can tell, there aren't any ambushers around here. As a matter of fact, you don't see any signs of footprints or hoofprints having come this way in the last several days. It doesn't look like there's a lot of traffic into or out of Thunder Gulch, at least on this side of the stream. And as far as you can tell, and those are some pretty spectacular rolls, as far as you can tell, this looks like a really good place to camp. You've got access to clean, fresh water. You can easily gather some wood and stones to build a campfire. And you'll have to forgive me that there are only 3 bedrolls on the picture. I totally borrowed this battle map.
I'll just sleep under the tree. You're all going to be judgmental, and I'll just stick to myself, guys.
All right. So, you guys are going to be able to get a good night's sleep. What does your campsite look like? Do you stay up all night drinking and carrying on and singing songs? Do you have a cold, quiet camp and keep careful double watches? What does it look like when you guys travel together?
Well, seeing as I'm a cautious individual, I would definitely want to maintain a watch. And probably drink a little bit too.
I am overconfident, so I'm going to make a fire, and I'm going to sit back against a rock and probably play. I don't have a harmonica or anything like that. but I'll whistle and I'll drink from my little bottle if I have a little alcohol.
Very nice. Yeah, I'm sure you have like a flask or something you can pass around.
I didn't say anything about that.
Very nice.
All right. Lily is going to sit off to the edge of the firelight, so more into the shadow, and just pass the time quietly by herself.
Yeah. And like I said, I'll be enjoying a bit of a drink, but keeping an eye on things.
Okay, that
I'm
sounds
wondering
good.
why Lily's sitting next to me.
What
Oh,
order do
really?
you guys
I'll
take
roll a
watches
nice
in?
sharp steak.
What was that?
What order do you guys take watches in? Oh, and I guess I can take Glurk off the map. He's not with you.
He just wanders off.
See you guys.
Wait, how
I'll
come
take-
Walt's not playing Glurk?
What's that?
How come Walt's not playing Glurk?
Walt's monitoring the stream to make sure
You don't want-
everybody behaves.
He doesn't want to play with us. He's too cool for us.
What?
I'll take second watch.
Dear Lord, just for that, I'll take the last watch. That way, I get the most sleep.
Oh, you are playing Walt. Which character are you playing?
I hadn't jumped in yet, but
Okay. All right. Okay. Never mind. I might be ruining things. Never mind.
no, all good. Keep going.
I'm drunk on coffee. I had a big coffee. I made a podcast. Things were said that the FBI is probably going to be upset about.
That's most of our search
Well,
histories.
So, Nick, are you just telling us it's just a regular Tuesday for you?
Yeah, it's Tuesday.
Okay, so you guys are going to split up into watches and get some sleep. You're able to find a good campsite where you're mostly out of the wind, about as best as you can be. The valley is called Wind River for a reason, and that is that there is a near constant wind, and even in the spring, like it is, the weather's going to get pretty darn cold at night. It's a good thing you have a fire.
So I'm not taking a sleeping bag. I'm just wrapped up in my coat against the rock. And since you said that there was a wind, I'm going to position myself downwind so that I can smell whatever is upwind as I lean against the rock. And I'm going to tilt my cowboy hat down like I'm asleep. But for about an hour, I'm going to stay awake, but with my cowboy hat down like I'm asleep.
Gotcha. Waiting to see if any of these weirdos that you're with are going to betray you for your stuff.
Well, also just to listen to the wind and smell the wind and see if anything. I have scouting and survival, so I'm using this trick to perhaps see if anything tries to sneak up on us.
Why don't you roll survival for me?
I will do it. Survival. Let's see. There we go. Zoop. Zoop. Pretty good roll.
Oh yeah, look at that. Exploding dice.
Yeah, exploding dice. That's
All
dope.
right. Yeah. So that is a success with a raise and almost a second raise. Here's what that means. It means that even though you are up out of your sleeping bag in the wind, you position yourself in shelter of the brush in just such a way that you're not going to have to worry about catching cold or anything.
Nice.
In the main rule book, we actually do have expanded rules for being exposed to the weather and the wind. Just a smidge more robust than in the standard Savage Worlds rulebook, but it's no problem for you. And you also position yourself such that if anything should approach you guys from upwind, you're going to have a real good shot at noticing it. Especially important for things like bears, right? You're going to be able to smell them coming.
Yes.
Right. So you're in a great spot.
Thank you.
And that's how I earned his nickname of Garth Bear Sniffer.
Oh. There you are, ruining my joy.
I got to tell you though, Nick, like right now, you look considerably less red than you did earlier.
Well, I'm back. Yeah. It's
You're back in hell.
yeah. It's my Trump status. Like right now, I'm full Trump, but if I go over here, less Trump.
Gotcha.
So over the course of the night, you're going to let the fire burn down, as you do. And a cold, breezy dawn is going to arrive. Who was it that was taking last watch?
That was me.
that means everyone's asleep. Is that what I'm hearing?
I think that we're all asleep.
I think I'll take last watch.
Who was that?
Lily.
So no,
Oh, okay. All right. So you guys are going to get up, stretch it off from a night of camping outdoors. Start bundling up your camp, getting things together. I want everybody in the group to make a notice roll at a -2, except for Lily, who is more fully awake than the rest of you, and is going to make a standard roll.
-2.
Yeah, everybody else, when you pop... Oh, yeah, there you go.
You.
Oh, wow. Somebody added a +2 instead of a -2. Very clever. Oh, no, the +2 comes from your alertness trait. That's right. Okay, all right. So let's see. And even with the -2, Kitakari passed. Lily passed. All right, cool. So there's a thing. There's 4 things, as a matter of fact. There are some shapes swooping down from the mountains that they were wheeling lazily in the air, and you didn't think much of them. They're really easy to mistake for just scavengers. They really, at long distances, don't look dangerous. But Lily is able to notice them, and so is Kitakari, as being dangerous. These are changed creatures called dart vultures. They have been changed by breach energy, and they're very dangerous. And they are swooping down to try and catch you guys unaware. So we are going to roll initiative.
Hey guys, I noticed these things are very dangerous.
Yeah, you're able to shout out and basically let everyone get ready. None of you are going to have weapons in your hand at the start of all of this, but you will at least not be surprised, which would have given them in what is in Savage Worlds called the drop, which is real bad if somebody gets the drop on you.
How do we roll initiative?
I went ahead and took care of it. Over on the right, next to the chat icon, there's a little fist icon, which is our combat tracker.
Okay. There we
And
go.
if you pull that up, that's going to show the initiative order. Savage Worlds uses a deck of playing cards for initiative. And I'm going to actually, yep, there we go.
That's cool.
So yeah, if we were at a table, I'd be dishing you out cards, and we'd go ace down to 2s, in reverse alphabetical order for the suits, and then if you pull a joker, not only do you get to go whenever you want, but you get a +2 to everything you do that round. It's awesome. That said, the first creature to act is actually one of these dart vultures, this one right here. And so it's going to swoop down this way. They are about 50 feet up, so melee is going to be a problem. But it's going to swoop down this way, and it's going to take a shot with this spray of spines at Kitakari right here.
We knew him well.
Yep, it's going to roll shooting. And that is going to hit you, Kitakari.
First blood.
Yeah, I know, right?
Uh-oh.
I've got to roll some damage. Okay, so here's the deal. 4 points of damage. You've got a toughness, Kitakari, of 5, which means that you get out of the way of most of the spray, and a couple of the spines stick in your leather armor, your trail gear, but it isn't actually enough to damage you or shake you in any way. So you got lucky there. And wouldn't you know, this thing swoops on by to finish its turn, wheeling around for another pass. But it is your turn, Kitakari. What would you like to do?
Well, it's really annoyed me now, so I'm going to shoot at it.
All right, you are going to need to spend an action to pick up your gun. That's not a big deal. Or you don't have a gun. You have a crossbow.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's an action to pick it up. That doesn't take up your entire turn. It just throws a -2 on your hit roll to take a quick shot like that.
So
you would go ahead to your character sheet, and you can actually click the tiny little icon next to your crossbow, and it will pop up your shooting roll.
Okay, I see that. And then I put a -2 in it.
Yeah, go ahead and put a -2 in there.
And then just shoot.
Yeah, do it.
Sweet.
Oh, look at that. Okay, that is a hit with a raise. So I want you to click that little icon next to the crossbow again.
Okay.
And except this time, you're going to check off the little box that says raise damage, because when you hit with a raise, you get an extra d6 of damage.
Okay.
And then you click the little damage button.
Sweet.
Well, you snake eyes the 2d6 for the crossbow, but you got an extra 5 points of damage off of your raise. So here's the deal. The Dart Vulture has a toughness of 5, which means that your crossbow bolt shook him, but he's not down. But he is shaken, so I'm going to put a little icon on him like so. When you're shaken, that's like that thing in an action movie where you get punched in the face or stabbed or whatever, and the hero goes, ah, and has to kind of stumble around like an idiot. It means you don't get to take an action until you successfully unshake with a roll on your turn. Also of note for the group, if you're shaken and you get shaken again, that counts as a wound, which is an important way to stack up and take people down. This Dart Vulture is flapping around looking like it's in a bad way. But the next turn is another one of these things that's going to come swooping in this way, like so, and it's going to take a shot at Karks.
Don't worry, these are good eating. Tastes like chicken.
Yep, and Karks was near
Come
the
with their
cover
own
here.
sticks.
Most of those spines go flying into the bush, and it's going to kind of circle off that way. Next in the order is Garth. Garth, what do you do?
I'm going to grab my hunting rifle and take a shot at the phased one.
This guy over here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, do it. You're at -2 again because you had to spend an action to pick up your gun.
Okay, so I'll go to my hunting rifle and I'll just roll that. So I add, how do I add shooting? Well, I guess add -2 to that.
Yeah, which means you're going to miss that shot, even without the penalty. We were looking for a 4. If you're unhappy about that, you could spend one of your bennies to get a reroll.
I would like to do that.
Okay. There's a little Benny icon in the chat window there where it shows your roll result, and you can just click it, and it should re-roll for you.
Let's see. In the chat window, there is on my character sheet, there's a Benny, right?
Yeah, we can do that too.
Okay, let me see. Why am I not? Let's see. Traits. Let's see. Edges and hindrances, gear. I'm really bad at this.
That's right. I'm going to help you.
Yeah,
Here's what I'm going to go to the front of your character sheet.
Okay.
The traits page, top row, all the way on the right. I'm going to click one of your bennies to spend it.
Oh, okay. For some reason, that was like.
Yep. And then
yeah.
what I want you to do is just go ahead and re-roll that shooting roll. Same deal. Oh, boo! The dice are not with you. Okay, if you want, you keep throwing bennies at it. Otherwise, we can move on.
I'm going to throw another Benny at it.
Oh my goodness! All right, let's give it a try. Come on, big dice. Woo! Boxcars, nice.
There you go.
That's how we do it. Roll damage with the raise box checked because you get extra damage.
Okay, so if I go over to gear and then I go to the hunting rifle and then I have damage. There is no box to check. I'm sorry, I'm still learning my way around.
All right, go back to the front page of your character sheet.
All right.
Bottom right, you should see a quick access area. You see the hunting rifle there?
Yep.
Click the tiny little icon of the hunting rifle.
Wait, oops, close. Okay, got that.
Okay, you get your pop-up box.
Got that.
Check off the box for raise damage, and then click the damage button. It'll roll your damage.
Now I understand it.
Okay, so not a huge damage roll, but guess what? The 6 points passes the Dart Vulture's toughness of 5, which means you're going to shake it again, which means that in the cinematic world, what we see is you calmly stand up from the fire, snatch up your hunting rifle, take aim, and blow this thing out of the sky. It is dead, dead, dead. It crashes to the ground.
I then spit dip for effect.
Nice.
Thanks,
All right,
baby,
we've
feathery son of a
got
gun.
another one of these Dart Vultures swooping in over the trees this way. And because it is too stupid to know better, it is going to take a shot at the guy with the gun. Because, well, they're animals. And I rolled a 6, which is enough to hit you.
Okay.
Let's see what kind of damage we do, though. All right, for 6 points, Garth, your toughness is exactly 6.
Correct.
So I matched, which means that you're not wounded in the sense that you didn't take a permanent wound that could kill you. You are shaken. So these spines sink into you, not enough to be deadly, but enough to be dangerous. And what we're all going to find out now, as Garth lets out a yelp of pain, is that these spines are poisoned. Anyone who is shaken or wounded by the spines need to make a vigor roll.
Okay, so I go to my vigor and I see that, and I roll. And I roll.
Perfect 4s are what we're looking for. So you feel the ache of this poison, but it didn't get enough into your bloodstream to truly affect you.
Very cool.
So that's all that's going to happen because of that. Next on the agenda is Lily.
All right, I want to try using my beast friend ability
Cool. Yeah.
on the furthest left one, if I can see it.
Yeah, this guy over here.
Yeah.
Okay. You can actually, if you want to spend multiple power points, try and get them all.
Okay.
Are they all close enough? 1, 2. Oh, yeah, there's only 3 of them. Yeah. If you want to spend 3 power points, you can make an attempt to control them all.
Isn't one of them dead, though?
Yeah, that's this guy over here. There's a total of 4 of them.
Right
So
on.
All right. So for under my power, I just put the PP cost, put it at 3,
Yep.
and then click on the icon.
Yep.
Boom. It says select a skill.
Should be mind bending.
Okay.
Did I not put that in there? Let me fix it.
It sounds like a G.I. Joe character.
I thought somebody might say that.
Dr. Minderbender.
All right. So now it's popped up the pop-up for the beast friend. Do I need to add anything to the extra PP?
It should take 3 off there. If it doesn't, we'll do it manually here in a second.
All right, here goes nothing.
All right, I'll go ahead and take those PowerPoints off there. You spent 3 of your 10. So you're going to wave your hands around and concentrate really hard and use your mental powers. And you're going to feel the link with these creatures happen. You get contact, and you're able to give them a simple command.
I will tell them to flee.
Okay. So everyone sees Lily stand up and raise her hands. There's a shimmer of power around her head. And maybe those of you with really good vision might see some kind of invisible ripple in the air. But in unison, which is the creepiest thing ever, all 3 of these other vultures are going to turn their wings and start heading out. So I think Karks didn't get to do anything. So if you'd like to take a shot, you may. Otherwise, we'll say the combat is over.
Well, I assume ammunition is pretty scarce in this world, so I'm going to save my round to be like, I would have killed them all.
Sure. Yeah, there's one
I
right
just
there.
drank too much last night.
You were prepared. You pop up from the bush with your shotgun, and you actually think better of it, which in the world of the after is wise. Speaking kind of to the viewers and to you guys that maybe aren't super familiar, it's correct that ammo is really hard to come by. It really is. Without industrial processes, with only Old West technology, it can be a real struggle bus to get more bullets when you run out. So these guys are going to leave, and they're not going to bother you anymore.
And one of my hindrances is being cautious, so there we go.
And what's cool is Garth is going to be able to shake off the shaken state as soon as combat ends. It's not permanent. Normally on your turn, you would just make a spirit roll to unshake. In this case, since combat is over, it's all good. We're done.
Very cool.
Well, I get up and look at Garth and say, hey, man, are you still shook up?
I'm all shook up. Spit spit.
Okay, good job, guys. So you are going to be able to pack up the rest of your gear. Collect a few spare spines from these dart vultures if you want. That poison's not going to be any good for long-term use, but they're cool souvenirs. The fact that you got attacked by these guys and nobody actually was taken down by them. The deal with them, as opposed to normal vultures, is they're more aggressive. They have an incapacitating poison, and they like to shoot you full of spines and then eat you while you're still alive. Fun times.
That's just horrible.
Yummy.
I'm so lucky to be born in this era.
All right, so you guys are going to be able to pack your stuff and take a hike up the west side of Thunder Gulch. It's going to take you a little bit to get there. Probably a good chunk of, well, no, it's not that far. Let's say like a couple of hours. So mid-morning, you're going to go through Thunder Gulch like so.
Is there any sort of like, as I check the stream water, as we look at that using survival and stuff like that, is there any sort of like indications that there are animals or intelligent species upstream? Like, hey, someone just cleaned a fish and washed the guts down, or, oh, the water's kind of muddy. I'm seeing like animal hairs in it or something like that.
We'll actually fold that into the rolls you guys made last night. It looks like this gulch is mostly uninhabited. Okay. You're not seeing a lot of stuff in the stream.
Okay.
And this isn't to scale with your tokens, but I wanted to show you guys kind of the cool canyon map that John made. So, you're not really going to get lost. You're going to be able to follow the trail on through the gulch this way until you get down here to Wong's lab. Wong's lab squats next to the roaring waterfall that gives the gulch its name. The building appears to be relatively freshly constructed from a mishmash of scavenged bricks and cinder blocks. There are a few wires on poles that connect the lab to a wagon-sized chunk of machinery that sits right in the bottom of the falls, where a precarious rock shelf allows access to the other side of the stream if you don't mind crossing the waterfall. As you get closer, you can see that the front door of the lab swings in the mountain breeze, hanging lazily off one hinge. What do?
I make ready my shotgun.
Okay.
I will approach with caution with my rifle out.
Yeah. I'll play wingman.
And I will hang towards the back with my rifle out as well, trying to keep a careful watch.
Okay, so everybody is armed as you approach the building.
And then I'll call out, Wong, you in there? Or is this the wrong address?
Wow. That's kind of joke I'd make on my game.
Oh, man. Why don't you roll a notice roll?
Oh, come on. You don't get a Benny for that?
Notice. I'm noticing things. The things that I notice are these.
Okay. So, yeah, Garth is a particularly alert fellow. And while he doesn't hear any verbal response, he does notice something else. The front door of the lab shows splintering, and look, it was obviously forced. And the other thing you notice is there are a few expended bullet shells casings scattered around the front door, indicating there was some kind of firefight after the door was broken in.
Tracks?
Are you going to look around for tracks, or are you going to focus on the building?
I will.
I'm gonna tell the guy with the shotgun to go in and clear the building, and I'm gonna stay out here with the long-range rifle and make sure we don't get snuck up on.
I give him a long, dirty look and think to myself, "Why does he always do this to me?" And I
reply to him, "Ain't nothing my mama didn't already do."
Yeah, I will go in.
That's Kark's going in, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know your guys' voice super well yet. Okay, Karks, you're headed into the building. Just charging on in there.
No, I'm gonna move in slowly, cautiously.
I love it when the DM just assumes. So you charge in blindly, not paying attention to it.
You'll notice I did ask.
Yeah, I have a cautious hindrance here, so I am playing that up. I'm moving in slowly.
Okay, so you avoid the 10-foot pit with spikes. Oh wait, wrong genre. Never mind. No, just kidding.
That's funny
You
for
step
us
on the
because-
landmine.
That's funny for us because we just spent the last year playing with a DM who DM'd like that.
Oh,
I'm so sad I missed that.
Karks, why don't you go ahead and roll notice for me?
Okay. No modifiers.
No, just a straight roll is fine.
3 to 1.
Okay.
Well,
So you're going to head into the lab, and the place is a mess. There are tables that are overturned, a lot of broken glass. You're not sure what may have been taken, what's missing. You're trying to check the place out. You've got your shotgun at the ready, listening as best you can, and something grabs your ankle. What do you do?
Of course.
You gonna shoot it?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try to turn and shoot it.
Okay.
I love that.
Roll shooting.
I guess.
It's a 6-year-old girl.
Let's see here. What?
Or a 60-year-old Wong?
it's a baby seal with giant anime eyes.
Do I click on shooting +2 or?
Yeah, you're +2 because it's a shotgun at close range.
Let me just clarify. Did you say shooting or did you say I think you said something else.
Okay.
Shoot my foot off.
No. Better than that.
Does the gun jam at that point? Because
Oh,
he just rolled a double one.
Just hang on. It's actually better than that. It is even better than that.
It blows up.
No. Something is going to happen. Why don't you? Let's see. Well, in the after, you remember how I talked about how the world is full of like nanites and breach energy and weird things happen and your gear degrades faster than you'd expect?
Uh-huh.
In the after, when you roll a critical fumble, something happens to your gear.
So this could be like that video where the guy pulls the trigger and the choke of the shotgun just goes everywhere.
Hey, I just saw that video.
Well, it could be weirder than that. Now, normally at the table, I would hand you a playing card, and we use that to resolve what in the world you got. Instead, I'm going to roll a dice in Foundry for you.
God.
I had a DM once hand me a card at a playing table, but he had something else in mind.
Oh my. Okay.
Oh, dear Lord.
so here's the deal. Your shotgun is not going to fire because it has been affected by the weird energies of the after, and it has become warped.
Crap.
That shotgun shell that you shot literally vanishes from this world to appear in some other dimension somewhere else in a game that we're not playing in.
Tonight, in my game.
Yep. And here's the deal. Even though you can't visually detect anything wrong with your gun, and it looks just fine, there's something wrong about it in the physical sense, like in the physics sense of it. Forevermore, it will be at -1 to attack, because whenever you move it, it has weight where it shouldn't and mass where it shouldn't, and it seems to shift and change.
Lucky me.
If any piece of gear ever takes 3 of these tags of any type, it dissolves into a puddle of slime or rust or is otherwise useless. So your shotgun is on strike 1. However, this is kind of cool in the sense that you look down and pull the trigger in Dr. Wong's face.
I'm glad I didn't shoot the wrong person.
Oh, why don't you go ahead and take a Benny? For a combination of the terrible luck of getting your gun warped and not killing the major NPC. Oh, wow. Okay. So yeah, he's down there hiding under a table, and he is covered in blood. You didn't do that to him.
I look.
He only tried to.
And he is gripping at your ankle. Looks like he's maybe trying to fight you, But he's in such terrible shape. He's feeble. You're in no danger from him. What do you do?
I kind of try to like kick him loose from my leg while taking a step back. And my attention is kind of distracted between him and the gun, trying to figure out what's wrong with my gun and looking like, you almost got yourself shot.
Help! Help! And he's coughing up blood. He is in really bad shape. Looks to be maybe feverish, and he's actually in a puddle of his own blood.
I yell at
Been
Garth.
there, done that.
I yell at the party to come in. It's safe-ish.
All right, I come in and I have my low light eyes, and I see this guy, and I say, "He looks very not good."
Yeah, it looks like he's dying.
Can I maybe do a survival roll to render first aid or check him out?
It is not the survival skill for that. Okay. There is actually a healing skill, which if you don't, if you don't have it on your list, you can roll untrained at -2. I think Glurk was the one with the med kit. It's a shame he didn't come with you.
Do any of us have like a first aid at least skill?
Let me check your character sheets. It's possible that Glurk was the one that had it amongst the group.
Of course we leave the healer behind.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he knew how to stitch a wound. He wasn't much use beyond that, but it looks like any of the rest of you will be rolling untrained.
I will do the roll, cause
just stick some mud into it.
Okay. With that roll, you're having real trouble getting the bleeding stopped, and he is not lucid. He is raving and ranting about something, but his voice is slurring so much it's hard to make it out. He's slipping away. With what you guys have on hand, as far as just some rags for bandages and maybe a splash of somebody's whiskey, that's not doing the job.
Wait, Nick's sharing his whiskey now?
I didn't think that was a thing.
I will approach him aggressively. I will jerk him up by the collar. I will slap the shit out of him. Then I will pour a little bit of my whiskey into him and say, "Tell me who did this to you."
Oh, wow. Well, go ahead and roll Intimidate.
That's a frontier stuff
I'm
right
going
there.
to step back and let Garth handle that, and I'm going to look around the
I would
room.
like to use persuasion.
Well, the way you just described it, you are absolutely intimidating him, my friend.
Okay, so where is Intimidate?
If it's not on your sheet, that means your character doesn't know that skill and you're rolling untrained.
Okay, cool. Watch this.
This is part of the overconfident.
Yeah.
So you slap him around, you get his blood all over you, and he is swooning in and out of consciousness. It looks bad. Who was it that spoke and said they were looking around the building?
Do what?
Somebody else was speaking besides the person with their hands on Wong, and I didn't catch who it was.
I said I was going to search the room for any supplies that might actually be of value to this situation.
All right. Why don't you roll notice?
Okay. Let's see if I can screw this up.
Of course.
Ouch. Would you like to spend a penny on that?
Yeah.
All right. That lets you re-roll. There we go. All right. So you look around this tore up, beat up lab and start, looking around in places that whoever turned over the lab would have missed. And you're able to turn up some rubbing alcohol, some clean bandages, and a syringe of something that you're pretty sure would get him to come around.
I call Garth while Garth is roughing Wong up. I was like, Garth, I think this might work a little bit better.
And yeah, it's a bad scene, man. You're slapping this dude around like blood is splattering everywhere. Come on, talk to me. Thumping his head against the floor.
Yeah, let's inject him with this random stuff.
Well, I mean, think about it this way. I provided the salt. Now we'll provide the sweet.
Oh, man.
Well, who's giving the savory?
All right. So, given that nobody in the group has the skill, let's just skip the die roll and let you guys inject him and get him turned around. It's going to take you an hour or two to get him to the point where he can talk to you, especially after somebody roughed him up. And somebody else, put a shotgun in his face and pulled the trigger.
Yeah. I'm gonna
save you.
I'm gonna initiate the injection, and I'm gonna do it like Pulp Fiction, like hand over hit right over the head, like bam. There you go.
All right. So he's going to be able to kind of give you some information. He's been off here in his own lab to try and figure out a generator that won't be affected by the biomechanical nanites. That's why he put it under the Thunder Gulch waterfall in hopes that the stream of water would keep it clear. He actually built it while the stream wasn't running in the winter, and it was cold. And it was actually kind of working up until, well, the electric lights he installed must have gotten the attention of the scavengers that live on the other side of the gulch. Wong calls them ruffians. He says there's a group of rough outdoorsmen, maybe about a half dozen guys led by a blue-skinned changed named Rourke. He says they moved into the gulch last year and had never bothered him before. It was his mistake installing those lights. He shouldn't have done it, but what's worse, it's his son that's going to pay for it. The bandits kicked in the front door looking for drugs, weapons, anything else they could scavenge. They shot my 2 assistants and put their bodies in the rocks. And even worse, Rourke's lieutenant, a twitchy guy who went by the name of Spike, he took my son, Trent. Trent's only 12 years old, and dragged him away. He was saying something about needing Trent to be the key in the lock, the whisper in the wind, whatever that's supposed to mean. He had some kind of weird biomechanical spines all over his arms and his shoulders, kind of like what you've got there, mister. That's how I got all these stab wounds. I tried to get my boy away from him. They left me for dead.
I think
Please.
key in the lock is your clue about your kid.
I'm not sure it's that simple. The guy was acting really weird. Could you find my son before it's too late? I'll try and patch myself up so I can get ready to travel.
Well, we're not here to find your son. That's someone else's job. We got paid to come here and do something else. But it just so happens that me and my bunch are available for retrieving kids for the right price.
He gestures around the lab.
Not
He's
the
like,
long price.
I have nothing. Look around here. Do you want
Listen,
do you want some cinder blocks?
Everybody's got something in this world. There's something under a floorboard. There's a piece of knowledge. I don't know, maybe even an old song. But you got something, and you love that kid. So you better think of what that something is.
Why are you here anyway?
It's none of your business.
More scavengers like the rest.
Yeah, whatever. Do you want your kid? I can get your kid.
I don't believe you.
All right. See ya.
He's pretty upset. You guys did rough him up, and now you're trying to get whatever is left in his installation.
The world is a hard and a cruel place, my man.
Isn't it, though? And there's no rule that says you have to play the after like a bunch of lawful good paladins.
Yeah. I'm just a trader, and I'm trying to make money. You have a son that you would like rescued. I have weapons and ammunition. See this gun? It ain't cheap. So
this one don't work. I need a new one.
Yeah, that one doesn't even work. And he's half dumb. He almost killed you. So what do you have to give us to go get your son? This may seem harsh or unfair, but this is a world of bartering, as was explained to me. Now you barter with me.
Why don't you roll persuasion?
Yeah. Oh, yes.
There we go.
What a hard ass.
Hey, I'm going to join Garth. Can I do a persuasion roll too, helping negotiate this?
Well, we're just going to take the one roll. It's fine.
Okay. All right.
I really wish I had Nick along with me when we were doing that, negotiation for the 25% Camaro.
Yeah, I'm gonna spend a Benny because that's a terrible roll, right?
I mean, a 4 is a basic success in this case. It's not an opposed roll.
I'll take it.
So here's the deal, man. You're gonna badger this mortally wounded guy who can't really get up and walk, and he's gonna start crying.
Yes,
he is weep. You make this man weep. He is blubbering. There is snot and blood running down his face. And it takes it, like, you have to work on him for a while. He's like, I have nothing. You're terrible. You son of a bitch. And finally you get him to agree, because obviously they can't stay here. He's going to have to break down this generator and try and take it to chapter. And the best he can offer you is to cut you in a share once that's done.
Done. I spit on my hand and hold it out to his bloody hand.
He looks at you like you've grown a second head, like, ugh.
Whatever.
I slap him on the back and says, "We're friends now."
Ow!
Yeah. Now that we as partners, I think you'll see your lot in life improve.
Oh, the pain.
Yeah.
You're going to go
All
far
right.
with us, buddy.
I'm off to get your kid.
Okay, so what's the plan, guys?
Well, we go there and we murder everybody except the kid.
Maybe we are playing D&D. Where are you going to go?
We were told the other side of the gulch, right?
Right. So that means either going all the way back out to the mouth of the canyon, or making a dangerous crossing underneath the waterfall along the same narrow, wet rock shelf that they must have used.
Well, we know which one
makes food whenever I run into it, so I too like to eat dangerously.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go over.
Okay. Is there anyone who does not want to go over the water or under the waterfall?
I look around. Is there anybody chicken shit enough not to follow me?
Well, since he put it like that, I'm completely following him, but I was edging the other way at the start.
I twirl my mustache and say, "I like to party."
Yeah.
I will go along, but I will continue watching our rear
Okay,
with
fair enough.
extra sound effects.
Everybody who's going to pass under the waterfall needs to make an athletics roll to keep their balance. It's good to be wild cards. Look at you guys. So, in classic action movie montage sense, you guys get back there. It's tough going. You're having to clamber along the rocks. You're getting all wet. The water's pouring down. It's loud. You can barely hear each other. You're having to cling together and muscle your way across. It is tough going. But after a few minutes where, the movie's theme music ramps up and the camera zooms way out to show the terrain, we end up with you guys over on the other side of the waterfall.
Teamwork.
Very
Distracted
nice.
late roll.
People may
Oh,
not
good.
like my leadership style, but it is effective.
Too good. Okay, so you're over on the other side of the waterfall. What happens next?
Can we see the other side of the gulch from here, or is there? Do we need to continue to journey? I guess I would say.
Well, I mean, their camp is not like right over here directly on the other side of the waterfall, and Dr. Wong wasn't exactly sure where it was either.
Right. So to go back with the party, what I'm going to do now is let's hunker for a minute and figure out what we're going to do. As in, we were told there were, like, correct me if I'm wrong, everybody, 6 people. And then there was a lieutenant, and then there was a changed. That would make 8 people, right?
Yeah.
Does everybody agree with that? What weapons does everybody have?
I have my trusty old shotgun, Lucille.
Yes. And let's put a little asterisk next to trusty. J-Mac, what do
I have
you
a crossbow and a
besides
long
a
knife.
deep sense of ennui?
That too. I have a crossbow and a long knife.
And
Okay,
I have
so
my
right. So you're silent, and you're the breacher. Shotgun is the breacher, is in, like, you have to be close. Crossbow is silent. Sinokin, what do you have?
well.
I have, besides my battered rifle, I have my survival knife, poking holes.
Yeah. Well,
What
I
kind
also.
Yeah. What kind of rifle is that?
Battered.
Yeah. So what do we say? That's like an AR-15. or like a 22 hunting rifle. I guess I would ask the
Red
game
Rider?
master. The
Yeah,
game master.
that would be closer to a 22. So when I wrote the after, I wasn't super interested in retreading a bunch of ground that other Savage Worlds products have done. So I left the weapon listings pretty generic, assuming that anything you're going to find at this time is going to have been rebuilt, remade, and otherwise messed with.
Okay. So it's not the main thing. Excuse me. Is it's not like a high-powered rifle.
No, it's a single-shot rifle, probably a lot closer to a 22.
Okay, so we've got a silent guy, we've got a mid-range guy, we've got a close guy, and we've got a long guy.
I also have my spiked forearms, so I can.
What do those do?
He is a beast in melee, is what that does.
Okay, so what we'll do is we'll put the scout ahead of us about 20 meters. And then we'll put the CQB guy with the spikes right behind him. Then I'll come behind him, and Sanokin, you pick up our rear. And we will now attempt to scout, moving slowly and with as much cover and concealment as we can find, staying upwind of where we think, or downwind, staying downwind, if we can manage that, of where we think their camp might be. Basically trying to go in as low pro as possible, since we're going to do some murdering.
Well, things never change. Women always get put in the back.
Okay, so who is your forward
Is she a
scout?
woman? I had not noticed.
The beard's a little confusing.
Yeah, pay no mind to that. It's
He's a
a new
dwarf.
era.
So what was the GM's question?
Who is your forward scout? Which character?
Our
I
forward
think
scout
it's me, right?
right there with the crossbow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know which one of you is which by voice, and I'm over
I'm,
in the Foundry window. So
Kidnappers.
okay, cool. All right, so here's the deal. You're going to have to find these ruffians' trail, which means not yet, but here in a minute, I'm going to have you make a survival roll. If anyone else can tell me how they use a skill to support your scouting, they could get a roll that would grant you a bonus.
Well, I have my traits are alertness and luck, and I would try to use that along with noticing, and also I would try to use. And if I'm doing this wrong, just let me know. But like survival by basically saying like, how does someone move through this terrain? What is the most likely way where they would like not fall off a cliff, wander into some cactus, get bit by a rattlesnake? And then we'll use the most likely path to find.
Yeah. So you're going to use your survival knowledge to kind of guide your scout in the general vicinity you want them to go. Why don't you roll survival?
Okay.
All right. So you're going to give your scout an additional +2 because that's a successful roll. We're looking for 4s. Does anyone else want to pitch in, or are we good to have Kitakari make the roll to follow the bandits?
I got this. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I can't do much better.
So I roll survival.
Yeah. And you're getting a +2 because of Garth's leadership.
So where do I add the +2?
When you click the icon for survival, there's a box that says situational mod. You can just add +2 right there. There we go. So you got a 7, which is a success. Very good. So you're able to move on down the valley, and you are going to find some signs of passage, trampled undergrowth, and it looks like a trail of carelessly discarded items that were looted from Dr. Wong's lab. Things like broken test tubes, rusty gear, maybe a little scrap of wire that isn't worth anything. However, what we're going to find out is that you guys aren't the only one on their trail. You are going to come over a short rise, and you're going to see 6 guys that look like this.
It's probing time.
It's pretty.
That looks like
Yeah.
a very caring, understanding creature.
Well, they're not. These are creatures that you don't even have to make a common knowledge roll to know exactly what these are. A good chunk of the humans that were poisoned by whatever the butchers left behind in the atmosphere became generations ago something that is no longer human, called a feral.
Oh, I hate these.
Yeah, and they run around in weird little gangs, and they drag people away and eat them. They don't talk. You can't communicate with them. You can't make treaties with them. They're a problem. Now, the good news is they're 20 yards away, and I'm going to make a roll to see if they've seen you. Kitakari, I want you to roll stealth, because it was said that your group is moving slowly and quietly. And I'm going to roll for them.
That was a pretty good roll.
That was a pretty good
Oh,
roll.
crap.
Oh crap! Walt,
Uh-oh.
Walt, why?
So, yeah, Kitakari, you are looking down the hill like, yeah, I got this, no problem. And then a couple of your friends come into view along the side of the hill, just as one of the ferals turns its way towards you and lets out a keening hiss that I'm not going to try and do over the microphone, because I'm a nice guy. We're gonna borrow this map again just for. I mean, you're not back at camp.
I assume I stepped on a stick and alerted all of them.
There you go. Yeah, and it's all well and good, but the deal is that they are over here like so. There's no campsite. Bear with me on this one.
We bear.
Yeah, they've got a mixture of really rude hand weapons like javelins and axes and big sticks and all kinds of stuff like that. And I'm going to go ahead and trigger off a combat scene. And I will go ahead and... Oh, you need to be in combat too, buddy. There we go. And I'm going to roll initiative. Okay. Looking good. So we're at a good distance, and the first one to react is actually Karks. What do you do?
Dear Lord, help me. What kind of penalties will I take if I open fire at this range with a shotgun?
Well, the way Savage Worlds works, they're actually pretty generous. Let me double check the range on that shotgun. I believe they give you a range of, let's see, 12 squares before you take a penalty, which is pretty generous, which means you could shoot this guy in the front, no problem, no penalty.
Okay. I'm going to take a shot at him.
That's Kitakari.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whoa.
Now, are we on horses with saddles, or we are not on horses?
No. Those are your payment when you come back.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to move forward just a little bit and take that shot.
Okay, do it.
Okay.
Those horses probably would have come in handy.
Yeah.
Might have been difficult getting them across the waterfall.
Okay, let's see how bad this goes.
All right. Yeah, you're at short range with the shotgun, which I believe you get the damage bonus all through short range, or the hit bonus, rather.
Okay.
So go ahead and roll damage.
Okay, so which one do I need to click here?
It is 3d6 at short range.
Okay, so on the screen it says, so I need to hit the one that says short range?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Oh, that doesn't look right. It was trying to apply it to you. But you rolled 9 damage. You're not shaken. Let's see. This guy over here, he has some toughness. He is going to be shaken by that shotgun blast. He's bleeding, but he's not down.
Good job, Lucille. Good
Yep.
job.
Kitakari, who's next? What do you want to do?
I want to shoot this guy, the guy on the front bottom.
Okay. Do you want to move around this brush to get a better shot?
Kind of want to get like here.
Okay.
All right, and then I just what do I roll? Is it on the crossbow? Or
Yeah,
is
if you click on the little crossbow icon,
Okay.
it'll pop open a box, and you just want to roll a shooting roll, which is on the lower left.
Okay.
And a 5 is enough to hit. So do the same thing, but click the damage box this time.
Damage.
Very nice. All right. 8 damage is that's going to stick a crossbow bolt in his gut. He too is shaken, but not downed yet.
Nice, we're doing good.
Yeah. It is my Feral's turn. So this guy here is going to rush forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they are really fast. They're faster than normal people. So he's actually going to rush right up on you. And he's going to try and chop your face with a really crude, nasty, rusty-looking axe.
Like you do.
And he is going to wild attack, which is a maneuver you can take in melee to give you +2 to hit, +2 to damage, but it's also 2 points easier for you to get hit. And he is going to roll a 6, which is going to hit your parry. So now I have to roll damage.
I hope you've had your tetanus shot.
I know, right?
The whole time he was running, I bet you he was trying to tell you about your car's extended warranty.
So 7 damage is going to have him slamming down into Kitakari, who is able to twist out of the worst of it and take but a scratch. But Kitakari is shaken, which means that you haven't taken a permanent wound. But if you get hit like that again, you absolutely will. Okay. Give me just a second. I got more of these guys. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And faster than you would think possible, this guy's going to rush from really far away and try and jab you with a spear. And for that, he needs to roll fighting. You're going to, even with a shotgun in your hand, you're going to be able to twist out of that, though. Not a problem. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This guy's going to take the run action and go 1, 2, 3, like so. The reason that is kind of important, he's going to run, which means he's going to be able to attack, but at a -2 for running with his big heavy club. Yeah, which means he's going to miss terribly, and it's not going to be an issue. One thing that is a problem in Savage Worlds is in close combat, you can't use a long arm, so nothing bigger than a pistol if you're engaged with someone. All right, and then that guy's just going to close the distance. I've got 2 more dudes back here who need to roll spirit rolls to unshake. They need a 4 or better. So the first guy need to roll, and he's going to fail. And the second guy, he's going to make it. All right, so when you make this roll, that does mean you unshake and can pretty much go do whatever you wanted to do. So he's going to rush in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like so. And he is going to try and slash at Karks. And a 4 is not going to get it done, even with a +1 gang up bonus from having his buddy right there. Makes it a 5, which doesn't hit Karks' parry of 7. You're able to get your spined forearm in the way and block that swing. This guy back in the back is still shaken, which means all he can do is move. So he's just going to stumble back here and hide behind this rock. Ferals don't usually show fear. This guy's just trying to shake off that, flipping shotgun blast.
Like you do.
Yeah, Lily, it's your turn.
All right, I shall use another power. I will cast Deflection with 3 points, so I can cover myself, Karks, and Kitakari.
Oh, yeah, okay. And I should have set you back to 10 points earlier because power points come back, I believe it's several points an hour in the new edition of Savage Worlds. So you would have started this fight with your full 10.
Okay.
So I just set you back. But yeah, go ahead and cast your power. You said yourself, Karks, and Kitakari. You have to successfully cast the power.
My bidding.
Uh-oh. Do you want to Benny that? Because if you don't, you will have failed to call upon your power. Nothing bad will happen, but you'll lose a power point and waste your action.
And I noticed I didn't spend 3 points. It only spent the 1.
Did it actually take the 1 off your sheet?
Yeah, it didn't take off all 3.
All right, we can fix it manually if we need to.
Okay.
But right now, you only lose 1 when you fail to cast a spell. But you went ahead.
Okay.
Did you spend a Benny?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Let's see. All right. So on the reroll, that should bring you to a total of 7 power points, not 6. So I fixed that. And that is going to successfully have the power go off. So your mental abilities are going to cause a shimmering shield of force around the 3 of you. It's going to make it 2 points harder for anybody to hit you, as long as you can maintain that power.
Sounds splendiferous.
Yeah. Garth, what have you got?
Garth is going to take his knife and he's going to run and jab the one that hit Kitakari because he's loyal and also because he hates ferals.
Nice.
And he's going to try to stab it.
Okay, so you're going to move up here with a knife.
Yep.
Why don't you go ahead and add a Benny for jumping into savage melee combat with these hated creatures for whom you have a hindrance.
Sweet.
Yeah, when you could have shot them with your rifle. I like it a lot. And let's go ahead and roll fighting. And you're going to stab this one right here, which was the one that hit Kitakari.
Okay. So we will roll that. And we'll take that.
Okay. A 5 is going to match their parry, which means you hit. So go ahead and roll damage for me. Oh my goodness. 9 damage. That's really good. You were 1 point away from killing him in one shot. Instead, you're going to slam that knife into his chest twice. There's a big bloody wound. In terms of game mechanics, he is shaken.
Okay.
So we're going to shake him like so. Let's see. We moved around 2, where you all get new initiative cards, because in Savage Worlds, you don't just cycle the initiative like you do in D&D. You redraw, which I think is fantastic. Which actually, in the wildness, Garth, you pull an ace and get to go again.
Because now I'm in a rage. I feel like I've done so much damage to this one that I've stabbed that I'm just going to go after the other one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you so enraged that you would wild attack when you do this?
Yeah, I hate these things. I hate them. They killed my little sister.
Nice. Okay, so the deal is when you go to roll fighting, there should be the ability to. Oh no, when you go to roll your knife, which I need to put on your quick access.
Okay.
There we go. Sorry about that.
I have survival knife on quick access.
Yep, I just put it on there, and if you click it, there'll be a little button over on the right for wild attack.
Okay.
Which makes it easier for them to hit you. But it also gives you a +2 to hit, which raises you up to a hit with a raise. So roll damage and check off the box to raise damage. Oh my goodness, 10 points of damage means that... So Garth charges in here shouting and cursing, and you stab the first guy and it falls back, flailing and gibbering, and then the second guy raises up its weapon and you just jam in there under its armpit and just stick, and then slice its throat and cast it aside like so much dead meat, because that's what it is. You kill it.
Nice.
Yeah, that was awesome. Karks, what do you do?
I'm going to drop my shotgun and go after the guy in front of me with my spiked forearms.
Sweet.
So let's see here. What's the wild attack button do?
Wild attack gives you +2 to hit, +2 to damage, but it makes you, I believe in the new edition, it makes you vulnerable, which gives other people bonuses to hit you.
You ever seen an old man in a honky tonk who drank half a bottle of tequila and thought he was a wizard? It's like that.
I think I'm going to go for it because, why not?
By the way, at 1 hour and 41 minutes, I am clipping that. That is going to be my new text message tone. Thank you.
Just like wild attack, and that's all good, right?
Yeah.
I see that as my retirement plan.
I thought it was the old folks D&D home.
Well, let's be honest. No one's going to want to play D&D with me the way that I keep murdering people.
It'll be the
I mean,
high.
I'm no James Ward. I'm not pooping on any sword.
All right, so you rolled a 6 plus 2 is 8, which is a hit. It's not quite enough to be a raise, but go ahead and roll damage, and it should add the plus 2 for the wild attack. If it doesn't, we'll add it manually. Okay, so 8 plus 2 more is 10, which means that you're going to get in close with this guy and just eviscerate him with your spiked forearm, shred him, and he is on the ground holding in his guts, and he will be dead in a moment.
Awesome.
Nice work. All right, so the problem with ferals is they rarely show fear, so they're going to continue fighting. This guy here was going to grab Kitakari and run and drag Kitakari back to the cave for lunch, but instead there's a dude with a knife. So the feral is going to try and take you on, Garth, one-on-one. It's going to swing on you. And I only rolled a 4. Your parry is 5, which means you get that knife up in the way and stab at its eyes and fend it off. You are a better fighter than this thing, at least for the moment.
Nice.
This other one here against Lily has a -2 because of the deflection spell, which is actually the difference in hitting or missing. So this thing raises up a great big weapon, slams it down right into Lily's head, except there's a crackling of sparks, and it's deflected. Awesome. All right, the other one over here on Karks, it doesn't even care that its companion just went down. It's going to try and stab you with a spear. And Karks, you are a badass melee opponent. You just sweep it aside with one of your forearms, move in on the guy. It is not a problem. I've only got one more in the back here who is still shaken and has to make a spirit roll if he wants to do anything cool. Which, pro tip, he does unshake, so good for him. And if this were like a normal D&D game, I would probably have him roll morale or something. But the problem with ferals is they show very little in the way of fear. So he's going to step up a little bit, and he is going to sling a javelin. Let's see. He's going to sling it at Karks.
Of course.
And he is at -2 because of the deflection field that he doesn't know about. Which means that spear that was going to take you right in the eyeball is again going to bounce off of this cool deflector field. Ping! Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Kitakari is up next. Kitakari, you start the turn shaken, which means that I need you to make a spirit roll to see if you're able to do anything this turn. If you fail this roll, you can just give me a Benny and automatically be unshaken. Okay, but you made the roll, so you're not shaken. What would you like to do?
I want to kill this one that's right in front of me.
I think that's a good plan. How do you want to kill it?
My long knife.
With
Okay.
kindness.
So you're going to spend an action to pull your long knife and go ahead and stab this guy. That would put you at -2, but your dice are going to explode, so you're totally going to nail him. Go ahead and roll damage. Okay, and yeah, he is still shaken from what Garth did to him, and you shake off the damage that you had taken and just calmly slide your long knife up and find its heart, and it is dead, dead, dead. Very nice. After Kitakari is Lily.
Lily will enjoy the fact that she dodged a nice blow and returned the favor and stick him with her survival knife.
Cool.
Do. Boom. Fighting.
Okay, and you had to pull that survival knife because you had your rifle out before, right?
Yes.
Okay, which unfortunately is going to be the difference between missing and hitting in this case. This savage, frothing feral is up in your face. You get the knife out, but you're not able to plunge it home.
Well, it's me.
Next round, the ferals are going to go first this time as they get a joker, which means they're at +2 to everything they do. Yeah, that's not good at all. I'm going to go ahead and take the dead guys off the field. Boom, boom, boom. This guy in front of Lily is going to return fire, basically. He's got the Joker, so he surges in with a newfound hunger. And rolls a 1 on the dice, and Lily, it is not a problem. Between your skill with the knife and your deflection field, all he's doing is pretty much dancing around, hacking at you, and you're able to keep him at bay. Same deal over here. This guy is attacking Karks. He gets a +2 for pulling the Joker. It's really scary when the bad guys get that. But Karks, you're an awesome melee combatant. Even with his newfound skills and awesomeness with the Joker, you keep him at arm's length, literally, since that's what you're fighting with.
Awesome.
And let's see, this guy here is going to do what ferals do, not play fair, not spread out. He's going to take the +1 gang up bonus and wild attack for a total of +4 to his attack. And Karks, that 9, or I added too much because it did the Joker automatically. So it should have been a 7, which matches your parry of 7, which means that you are going to get hit. And the real bad news is I'm rolling my damage at a total of +4. 2 for the Joker, 2 for the wild attack.
Nice.
And that's an exploding die. All
Oof.
right. We have a problem. There are 16 points of damage incoming at Karks. Now, Karks has a toughness of 9, which is pretty solid. Just hitting a 9 would only shake you, but every 4 points above that would dish a wound. So you take a wound at 13, you would have taken a second wound at 17. Now, here's the deal. If you take a wound, you're at -1 to everything you do until that wound is healed, which is probably not happening during this game.
Right.
But if you spend a Benny right now as a reaction, you can make a vigor roll. And if you roll a 4 or higher, that wound doesn't affect you. Yeah, that's really what those bennies are for.
That'll do it.
So go ahead and give me that vigor roll. Look at you.
Damn.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
Okay, so you've got subdermal armor, right? So this dude comes in on this crazy, shrieking wild attack with a great club that has spikes on it, takes a big double-handed baseball swing, and slams that club right into your ribs. If it had been Lily or Garth or anyone else, they'd have had a half dozen broken ribs and they'd be on the ground crying for their mom. You just take it and look back at him.
And I spit on him.
You don't even move a step back, and yeah, you absolutely spit in his eye. Very nice. All right, was that all my dudes? I think that was all my dudes. So, Lily.
Alrighty.
You've got knife in hand this time.
I will try to go for the air raiding attack again.
Okay.
Scribe knife. Fighting. I will whiff.
Right, well, I mean, it's you with a knife against a dude with a big old axe who's got, like, crazy crackhead energy, right? You're having trouble pinning him down.
Actually, I have another question. It's not related to this turn, but
Yeah.
is there, in this game, am I able to move away without getting attacked, or...
In Savage Worlds, if you move away from someone, they get to swing on you.
Okay.
Unless you have an edge called, I think it's called, there's an edge for that lets you disengage with an athletics roll.
Okay.
But if you would like to move away from him, you can. He'll just get to swipe at you. You do have deflection on you, so it's a calculated risk, right?
I'm good. I got people nearby that's going to come and get him in the back anyways.
Yeah, especially that madman Garth, whose turn it is.
I'm going to blindside the one that's nearest me on Karks with an athletics roll if I can, and just charge into him and hopefully land on top of him, and then start jackhammering my knife into his tender parts.
Okay, so if you want, you could take 2 actions. One would be like a shove roll to try and get him on the ground, followed up by an attack. Taking multiple actions gives you a -2 to each one for each extra action you take. So you can do it. It's going to be hard.
So should we do athletics?
Yeah, start with an athletics roll for me. at -2 because of the multi-action penalty.
Okay, so how do I add -2 to it? Wait,
When you
oh,
click,
it already says 1d6 or -2. Is that it?
yeah, in that box, type -2.
-2. Okay. Oh no, you guys are gonna see how bad I am at computer. 2. Okay.
Okay, so you got a 3. I have to roll for the feral. Okay, and he rolls this big boss mode roll, which means that you're going to slam into him and find out that in addition to crackhead energy, they have crackhead strength. So you're going to end up over here, shoulder to shoulder with this guy. You can still take your attack, but he's not going to be on the ground and extra vulnerable, which totally sucks.
All right, then I will take my attack.
Do it.
Wild attack.
Okay. Oh my lord. So even if we throw the -2 from your multi-action on there, that still brings you to a 17, which is absolutely a hit with a raise, as Garth continues to be a wild man. So roll damage and check off the raise damage button, and then add 2 more for wild attack. So, yeah, everyone just sees Garth, like, shoulder block this dude, come up short, and get mad about it, and just jack this dude in the skull with his knife. Like, stab, 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 stab. Like a flipping whirlwind, man. This guy's down. Down.
Nice.
Oh, it is bad. Nobody knew Garth had this in him.
Garth hates ferals. Hates them.
Yeah, nice. Kitakari, it's your turn, and nobody is near you.
I think I'm going to shoot the one that's by Lily.
You gonna drop your knife?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're easily able to sling another bolt into your crossbow, and let's see if you can shoot that guy in the back.
Okay.
Without hitting me.
Well, you know, you look a lot like JR.
Oh wow, yeah, but with an exploding roll, not a problem. You're gonna land a shot at point blank range. Give me a damage roll.
Okay.
Oh. How do you take this guy out? Where do you shoot him?
Where do I shoot him?
Yeah.
Nebraska.
In the butt.
You kill him with an ash shot. You like hit the base of his spine. His legs go limp. The bolt traveled partially through, so there's bits of him spraying out the front, and he collapses, yowling and hissing.
Perfect.
And Karks, there's only one left.
I'm gonna go completely mad wild and do another wild attack with my spiked forearms. Let's see.
Sweet.
Here.
Oh no, a 4 is not going to hit him. Do you want to Benny that, or are you good?
No, I want this guy, so I'm going to take a Benny and roll even worse, I'm sure.
There you go. That's a hit with a raise.
There we go.
Yep. So roll damage. You're going to check off the damage raise button, and you're getting a +2 for wild attack. It's a good day. All right. In the interest of time, and since it's the last guy on the board, you're going to absolutely shred this guy, tear him apart with your spiked forearms, and he's going to go down also.
Praise the gods of time constraints.
Yep. Well, I mean, this one was basically over. Because the next round, Garth was going next, so we know what was going to happen. Okay. All right. Speaking of time, Eye in the Sky, Walt, how are we doing as far as time slot?
So you have 5 minutes left.
Oh, dang. Okay. All right. Let's scoot through kind of.
Does everybody have to go, or what are we doing?
That was originally put in place by Sean. But if he's good, I'm good.
I'm good as long as there's not like a constraint with the podcast about time.
Nope.
All right.
Good. Let's finish it.
Cool. Yeah, we're gonna maybe hustle through the very next scene. But we'll go ahead and get everything finished. Okay.
Yeah.
So
take your time, but take your time and enjoy it yourself, because I think from the chat people are really digging this game, and so
that's awesome.
So I can't speak for everybody. I don't got to be anywhere, so we're having fun. So
Okay,
Let's
and
just do this. Yeah.
and does anybody need like a 2-minute bio break, or are we good to continue?
I just pee right here in my chair.
I like it.
3 times.
Okay, that's fair. Let's continue. So you guys are able to dispose of these ferals without too much trouble to yourselves. I mean, you're down some bennies, and maybe you got a little blood on your gear, but nobody is seriously injured. That's pretty fortunate. Now, the bad news about these guys is they are absolute trash. They are gibbering, cannibalistic humanoids that are covered in patches of wiry fur, interspersed with warty growths, and they have foot-long tongues that dribble green drool. They wear rags and have absolutely nothing of value. Even their weapons are utter trash. Disposing of them was the best thing you could do for the valley.
After I piss on them.
There you go. I like it. You guys owned them in a great way, and they are all destroyed before you. And that is going to leave you in a situation where you fired some gunshots. Those echoed throughout the valley, and now it is just you and the wind. And you can pick up the trail of the ruffians again and follow it down the far side of Thunder Gulch.
But we have to assume that they heard those gunshots.
That would be a safe assumption, yeah.
And they're probably coming to check things out.
So what do you guys want to do about that?
Set up an L-shaped ambush.
I love it.
I'm excited.
Okay.
My
How about everybody in the group roll me a notice roll?
Oh, you mean me? Someone's dice landed on my notice.
Oh,
Well,
snap.
At least you noticed them.
All right, so you guys move on down the trail a little bit and find a good spot to set up an ambush. You settle in with your weapons and you wait. And about 30 minutes later, Garth, you hear something. It's not what you expected. You hear gunshots in the distance to the south. Frenzied, as if some other fight was breaking out.
Which direction is the wind coming from?
From the south, actually, blowing into the gulch.
I would like to take a sniff with my sniffer.
Well, this notice roll kind of folds into that.
Okay.
And basically the deal is that you don't smell any creatures near you. From the sound, it sounds like whatever fight is going on is probably a half-mile distant. You would guess that there's some, because you rolled really high. You actually rolled 2 raises. You would guess that there is some kind of fight going on at their camp, and you're pretty sure from the sound that you could guide the group right there.
Okay. Let's approach that with caution.
Okay. So you guys are going to move down this way. The sound of combat ends pretty quick. And you guys are going to see up ahead of you a cave entrance. Give me just a second. Whoa. Yep, we're changing scenes. Let me put you down here. Glurk is not with us.
And I just want to go over, what was our objective one more time?
Well, you found Dr. Wong and kind of got him conscious. He's still in really poor shape. You were originally sent to help him out and, make sure that he was safe, which probably at this point means bringing him back to chapter.
And probably making sure he's intimidated enough not to talk about the slapping.
Yeah, and you've got a kind of a sub-quest going on where you found out that these ruffians, in addition to robbing him blind, also took his child.
Okay.
So you guys are here, where you can see that there is a cave entrance up ahead of you that has been roughly fortified with some really crude doors that are cobbled together from, log cabin style, basically. Big, heavy, clunky things.
And where was the shooting coming from?
Should be right around here. As a matter of fact, there's a dead guy right here, face down.
And what kind of dead guy does he look like?
Well, you're about probably 20, 30 yards away from him. Why don't you roll notice? And we'll see how much you see. Yep, that's definitely a dead guy.
Maybe.
He could be alive.
Can I take a closer look? Can I?
Do you want to move closer?
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
Okay.
Where is he exactly on the map?
I was looking at the dead guy being right about there.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to move up a little bit and trying to keep whatever cover I can with the tree or bush. Is that enough to make a notice roll?
Yeah, sure. Why don't you go ahead?
Maybe.
He did.
Well, he hasn't moved this whole time, so you can confirm that.
Maybe sleeping.
Man, that's a real awkward angle for his legs to be at if he's sleeping.
I think kids sleep.
He's got those backwards knees.
Yeah, it's not awkward for me.
Do you want to move in closer?
Well, I would say let's get off the path and go to the left through the trees and then hug some wall.
Yeah.
And then maybe try to kind of creep up on the cave entrance.
Yeah, okay, I got you. So let me just grab the tokens and do this for you. Off this way. With the idea that you're going the long way around so as not to be spotted.
Right.
Okay, so here's the deal. You're going to creep up on this place. I could give you a bunch of theater with like stealth rolls and notice rolls, but after a few minutes, you're going to figure out there is nobody around to bother you. Like the place is dead quiet. And this dude here is definitely dead. He looks like he was shot in the back and has a couple of other superficial wounds besides. His gear has been taken.
So he was shot in the back and looking at the blood spatter in the dirt from what direction?
From inside the cave.
Oh, okay.
You can see as well those doors there are ajar. They're not locked or barred or anything. Like this guy was maybe on his way out.
Well, let's stack on the door, and let's put shotgun guy in the front, and then let's put rifle guy next, and then let's put melee guy after that, and then let's put me with the ranged weapon.
Cool. Yeah, you guys can stack up in that way. And you're going to find there's a little cavern hideout here. And there are blood smears all over the place. I mean, all over the place. Pardon my poor penmanship, but I mean, it's a mess. And there is actually another dead body right there.
And is his gear gone too?
Yeah.
I guess I make entry cautiously.
Okay. You guys are going to go inside?
Yes.
Cautiously. Again, not a problem. There's nobody to oppose you at this point. You're to go inside and find that there is, like I said, a little hideout here. Maybe not quite as much stuff as the battle map shows. Again, I borrowed the battle map. But there are multiple dead dudes in here, including one that you recognize, according to the description Wong gave you. That's got to be Rourke. He's a changed who's easily identified by his blue skin. Everybody else lies sprawled in their own blood near the still warm ashes of a cook fire.
I want to examine Rourke's body.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a notice roll. He is dead. He has taken some absolutely vicious tearing and stabbing around the face and neck. Kind of similar to some of the wounds that Wong took.
Does he have any gear left?
Well, you look around and you can see that most of the weapons and good stuff are missing. There's enough stuff here that you could turn up about 100 salvage, which is what we use in the after to abstract money, right? There isn't money. There aren't dollars. There aren't gold coins. But when you go to a place and pick up like a few blocks of wood or a coil of wire or little bits and bobs that you could barter with, rather than track each of those weird things individually, we just call it salvage, and we track it with the dollar sign. So you could write $100 down. What it really means is that you've got a bag about as big as a bowling ball of miscellaneous stuff.
Dibs.
You can also grab a couple of bedrolls that don't have too much blood in them. A couple of other pieces of camping equipment, like there's a couple pots and pans you could grab, that sort of thing. And hey, this guy over here with his guts sprawled all over his legs, he's still breathing.
Should I slap him around?
Yeah.
I was just going to ask that.
Do you actually want to slap him around, or do you want to try and bring him to consciousness?
I'm gonna bend down next to him, and I'm gonna lift up his little head, and I'm gonna hold out my bottle of whiskey, and I'm gonna put a little on his lips. And I'm going to talk real soothing like to him. Hey, buddy, you okay there, buddy?
All right. He's going to sputter and cough and come around. And he's going to have a little cutscene. oh, man. Dad, is that you? Oh, it was supposed to be a simple smash and grab, man. Get some rich tax stuff to barter for bullets and beer. Rourke didn't expect the prof to put up that much of a fight. But anyway, Spike got the idea in his head to kill everybody, man. He'd been acting funny ever since he found that butcher tack. Pogo's mantle is what Rourke was calling it. We found it in a trashed butcher bay south of here, about a mile and a little upslope. Oh, the place was creepy. Anyway, Spike was carrying it in his bag, thought we could sell it next time we hit town, but he woke us all up screaming. The thing had crawled out of the bag and fused itself onto his spine, man. We all thought he was going to die, but a few days later he got up like nothing had happened, except he had these porcupine spines all over his upper half and some blinking lights in him. After that, he was extra mean. Meaner than Rourke, even. I thought he was going to kill the kid, but instead he stabbed up the old man and dragged the kid off. And Rourke was bitching at Spike the whole way back. And it came to a head when Spike said he was going to take the kid up to the butcher base and use him to turn the aliens' old machinery back on. It sounded like a bad idea to me. But Normie and Felt, they took his side, and things got ugly. Anyway, you can find my holdout shooter behind that rock over there. Go get my revenge on that nasty son of a bitch. And he slumps over dead.
I drop his head unceremoniously and go get his revolver.
Right, so you can dig up this revolver. It is corroded with rust, so it's got the equivalent of one of those stress tags on it. It's -1 to hit. Who's going to take it? I'll put it on your character sheet.
I will take it.
He's the
Who
cowboy.
is I?
Oh, Rourke. Rourke.
Garth.
Garth.
Garth's
Okay.
your ticket, man.
Give me just a second. Garth is going to gather up a revolver. Everybody good with that?
Just for a note, I successfully danced the Cabbage Patch on the corpse of the guy who just died.
It's not weird at all.
No, it's just
No.
alien stuff.
Considering all the stuff that's went on in these games, that's the furthest thing from the weirdest thing that's ever happened in this game.
All right. It is on your character sheet. There you go.
Do I have bullets?
There are 13 bullets in that little hidey hole that will fit the revolver.
Nice. I'll tuck that into my belt.
Very cool. Everybody sees you do it.
Well, you're a real cowboy now, Garth.
Yeah. Other than that, there doesn't seem to be much else worth taking unless you need a new sleeping bag or, like a cast iron pan.
Well, it's time to go do cowboy shit and get this kid at the butcher base.
Yes, no, maybe.
Oh,
Garth-
I was waiting for the group to kind of agree that they're ready to go do that.
Yeah,
I'm up
yeah.
for anything. I'm just totally distracted.
We don't disagree.
Garth
He might
strides
shoot
off
us.
to the butcher base.
I heard
Everybody
a question in the background. What was that? Oh, I missed something. All right. So you guys can head back out to the gulch and start heading south. It's going to be a pretty... we're going to need one more survival roll to see if you can follow Rourke's trail. Should be pretty easy. Or Spike's trail, excuse me. Rourke is dead as hell. Well, I didn't need one from everybody, but it's probably best that everybody rolled because those aren't the best rolls. But between the group of you and the directions you get it figured out. It's going to take you. The shadows are starting to get long in the valley by the time you get down to the Forgotten Facility.
Oh, magical movement.
Okay, so yeah, you're going to get to a spot where there is some kind of creepy looking alien facility bulging out of the wall like some kind of tumor. It looks like it's mostly been buried by an avalanche, probably the result of the literal interstellar war between the butchers and the ghost. You would guess some real heavy shit went down here. But if you look up there, and even in the longer shadows, you can see up a rocky, dangerous slope, you can see a little crevice that leads inside the twisted bowels of this creepy butcher base. Do you guys go inside?
We do.
It's pitch dark in there. There's at
How's
least
my eyesight in there?
Kitikari, I believe, has enhanced low light vision, which means you can see
I have low light
somewhat
vision.
in pitch darkness. Karks has regular low light vision, which means it doesn't help you if it's all the way pitch dark.
So what if I light a torch?
Then everybody can see. Of course, it's extra creepy
My
because of
eyes!
the flickering firelight effect.
Yeah.
And you're gonna see many weird rounded hallways that are easily twice the size of what you'd see in an old world building, obviously made to accommodate the bulk of the alien invaders, which you've heard, although you've never seen, that they were absolutely gigantic, and they also had stables of huge biotech war beasts. The walls in here are cold and moist. Reminds you of some kind of extruded resin or something like that. It's really nasty and a little bit slick. And you're going to start wandering around in this place, trying not to get lost, and find that a lot of the hallways start to curve downward.
Any salvage?
The halls here are bare. If you wanted to chip loose some of this resin, maybe you could, but you're not sure anybody would give you money for it. Most people have a real bad attitude about butcher tech, and for good reason. Look what it did to Spike, after all.
Okay, then we will continue downward.
Okay, who is scouting at this point? Who is in the lead?
I'll take the lead because I have the torch and I have a revolver.
Okay, go ahead and make a notice roll for me.
Bazinga!
Okay, that's not a real great roll. That's going to miss unless you'd like to throw a Benny and re-roll.
Bing!
Throw a Benny. That brings back memories.
It does bring back memories.
Okay, cool. That's going to get you over the hump. That is going to let your attuned senses with your alertness pick up the sound of distant, echoing screams that you're going to be able to lead the group and follow down through the twisted hallways.
Okay.
And you're going to get to this weird experimentation chamber where there is just a little bit of light. Let me put you guys on the map because I know you can't see anything until I do that. There we go.
You ever notice only evil people have experimentation chambers in their house?
Glurch
The average,
is
like,
glitching.
you know, two-door ranchero does that, or to one single-family ranchero doesn't have an experimentation room. It's just got like a family room, bedroom, front room.
It's kind of
You're
like the
wrong.
red lightsaber thing, right?
Oh, this is our experimentation room.
It's like,
All right.
I made my first lightsaber. Oh, it's red. I guess I'm
Yeah.
a bad guy.
All right, so the deal is that this room is tall and has a real dim lighting in it coming from some weird machinery that is up in this area. And attached to this filthy and forgotten machinery are these long leads that look like they're made out of barbed wire that are attached not only to Spike, who is standing right here, and I will go ahead and show you all his cool art.
He doesn't look like a very pleasant person.
Got some
No.
John Gibbons artwork right there, bro.
Oh man, he's great.
He looks like a kind of guy who works in a coffee house.
But he has attached those leads to the weird glimmering spines that are all over his shoulders and neck. And where you see the red circle, machinery is starting to come to life. These long pincher arms are grabbing onto this kid and lifting him up, and it looks like they're getting ready to cut him open and start doing surgery on him. And he is thrashing and screaming and crying and trying to get away. There are also two of these other gangers that turn as you come in with a lit torch. Boss, kill them all! And that's probably cue for us to drop into initiative.
Come
I
on,
bet you-
Joker.
Right?
Yeah,
I bet you Spike is the guy that mispronounces everybody's name on the lattes.
Oh, I just messed up. Hang on, did I just delete everybody? Let's not
Who turned off the
do
lights?
that. Yeah, sorry about that. All right, I got to grab the tokens again. Got to put everybody back into a combat state again. There we go.
Spike needs a beating.
Yep, and we're going to roll initiative, and Lily's going to go first.
I think Lily is dealing with some household issues.
Oh, all right. Well,
Child
there's
aggro.
what's that?
He's dealing with child aggro.
Okay, I understand that. That's no problem. Lily can be on hold. There is a thing you can do in Savage Worlds Initiative where you're not ready to go.
All right, I'm good.
flip your. Oh, you good? Well, for everyone that's listening that's not familiar with Savage Worlds, you can flip your card over. It's like delaying initiative, and you can go later, even making an agility roll to interrupt someone else later if you want. But since you're here, you can go.
All righty. So these are all, since I'm catching up, these are all bad guys.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and make it a little easier for you guys to see. How's that? Did that help?
Yeah, we have two bad guys, right?
Yeah.
Free.
Yep. You get a dude here who's up against some kind of pylon. You got another dude here. Those are both outlaws with guns, and then you got Spike back here.
All right, I'm gonna try to take a shot at the guy to the left, kind of like on the 10 o'clock of the circle.
Okay, you do not have a clear shot at him from where you are. You're going to need to move.
Okay, sounds good.
Do you just want to step up onto these little stairs here?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's do the thing.
Since I moved, that's with a -2.
No, moving is free in Savage World. It's only if you run, which means moving above your listed pace. Okay, a 4 with him being behind a little bit of cover from that pylon. It's gonna, just like in the movies, spang off of that pylon with a crack. And it's gonna miss him. It is Spike's turn next. And Spike sees the group of you and is like, I don't have time for this shit. We're going to open the ways. We're going to call him back. It's going to be awesome. He comes over this way and he raises both of his hands and leans forward. And when he does, there's a glow as every single spine on his body begins to hum with power. That doesn't sound good.
He's probably making a cappuccino.
Let's see if I can get this template on the board properly.
Oh, it's never good when the GM starts talking about burst templates in Savage Worlds.
Yeah. The scale's not right on this map. He is going to burst out a cone, like so. And what is happening is all of those creepy Butcher Tech spines on his back are going to shoot out at everybody in the group. And he has to make a shooting roll to make this happen. We're also going to find out that he is a wild card just like you guys, because he's getting an extra dice.
Damn him.
Yep. All right, so he is going to succeed in his shooting skill test, which means he's going to hit all of you all with 2d6 of damage, which I need to roll.
Ow.
Okay, that's big damage. That's 10. So looking around, that's bad news for everybody except Karks. Karks is just going to be shaken from this blast of spines as he ducks the worst of it. I mean, being shaken's not ideal. And that's true for Lily as well, who's got a toughness of 7, because he has to beat your toughness by 4 to inflict a wound. So Lily is shaken as well. The other 2 of you have toughnesses of 5 or 6, which means you've got a wound incoming unless you spend a Benny and roll a vigor roll of 4 or more. So Garth, Kitakari, how do you feel about that?
I feel that I would like to do that.
Okay.
Zoop.
Yeah, I'll try and re-roll too.
And here we go with the vigor. Roll.
All right, cool. So Garth is going to be able to get out of that one, duck behind some cover or something. There's it's all cinematic damage. Your clothes are all tore up. What about Kitakari?
What do I have to roll again?
Well, I'm not sure why you have 4 bennies. That's interesting.
I only shows 3 on mine.
Yeah. All right. We're going to spend 1, and what I want you to do is go to your character sheet.
Yeah.
And where it says vigor, click on the word vigor. It's right above your skill list.
Okay.
And you want to get a 4 or more. There you go. All right. So neither of you take wounds. He blasts away, and you guys manage to twist aside from the worst of it. Lily and Karks have some kind of superficial stuff going on. And he's going to finish his move by ducking behind this pylon for cover. One of the outlaws is going to go next. This guy right over here. He's actually got a pistol, and he is going to duck over this way and try and finish Lily off. We'll see how that goes. With a 2, that means that he is wildly firing and barely looking at where he's going, and the shots go wide. Sucks to be him. He's going to duck back this way. This guy over here has a bow and arrow. And let's see. I think Lily just tried to shoot him. It makes sense that he would return the favor. Uh-oh. That's a hit with a raise. So I need to roll damage. That is the worst raised damage roll I have ever seen. 1, 1, 2. For a total of 4 massive points of damage. As this badly fletched arrow rockets out and embeds itself in the strap of your backpack, Lily. And the tiniest tip of the arrow punches through and gives you just a bare nip on the shoulder that is the equivalent of like a mosquito bite. It is not a thing. Sucks to be him.
Got done tickled.
Yeah. Oh man, that's too funny. All right, Kark, it is your turn, buddy.
Okay, what do I need to roll to see if I can shake off my shakiness?
Well, what's cool is in the process of this game, I realized that I can put the shaken status on you in a way that the system automatically rolls spirit for you at the beginning of your turn, which is pretty wild. I didn't know it did that. The bad news is it just rolled and missed. Now, if you give me a Benny, shaken is a special case. You don't even need to re-roll. You're just automatically unshaken.
I'm going to roll a Benny.
Okay. Cool. So you are unshaken.
Okay, so I think I'm gonna move over here and take a shot at the guy up there.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Let's see.
Okay, even if I take one off because your shotgun has that thing on it, that is still a hit. So this guy's about to take big damage from a close-range shotgun blast.
Okay.
Sucks to be him.
You know what would be really cool is if that mystery damage that disappeared into another dimension somehow came through and shot that guy in the ass.
Let's see what happens.
So double barrel, short range.
Yep.
Yo.
Whoa! Oh!
Whoa!
Exploding dice. His head vaporizes as you pop him right in the face with the full blast of your shotgun.
Now that's what I'm talking about, Lucille.
This
Excellent.
dude is no more. He is not a concern. All right, Garth Hernandez.
So these stairs, do they lead up or down?
Oh, they lead up.
So it's like a raised dais.
Yeah, it's only a couple feet raised. It's not a super big deal.
Okay. So if I move here, can I shoot Spike?
Yeah.
I would like to do that.
Yep. He's 1 point harder to hit because of the tiny bit of cover. I mean, he is behind that pylon a little bit.
Okay. Let's use our new corroded revolver.
Okay.
Is there a wild attack feature with this?
You can, I believe, this is where I'm getting my additions confused.
It doesn't show in here, so
Yeah,
maybe not.
I think Adventure Edition, the new edition, has a double tap rule. Give me 2 seconds to look that up. It's actually right here in the system. Double tap gone? I'm not seeing it here. So for now, we're going to assume no. Somebody in the chat might actually tell me I'm wrong, but in the interest of keeping the combat moving along, for now, we're going to say no.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and take a shot at him. And if that misses, I'm going to use a Benny.
It does miss. So go ahead and use Benny.
Last one. I'm dry.
Ooh, risky. Oh no! All right. Yeah. So that corroded revolver is maybe not the best. Maybe the sight is off. But those bullets are going to go wide, and unfortunately hit nobody.
Okay.
Kitakari, what have you got for me?
But he looked good doing it.
Oh, for real?
Can I get by them on the stairs?
Unless they want to resist, I have no problem with it.
Like there?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to take a shot, Spike.
Oh, surprise, dude.
I just saw a video of this yesterday.
The scav, does a little cartwheel between everybody and pops up.
I saw two old dudes at a range doing this.
I know the one you're talking
I saw
about.
that. Yeah. Where he shoots the guy in the head almost.
Yeah. I think I'm the one that sent that.
All right, so a 5 matches what you need because I was giving him a little bit of cover from the pylon. So go ahead and roll damage for me.
Nice.
Ooh, 13 damage is pretty good. He's got a wound incoming, except that enemy wild cards get bennies, and I'm going to spend one to roll soak for him.
Bastards.
Which I got just enough to soak up that wound, so that crossbow bolt strikes home, but it hits him up in the shoulders where all that weird butcher tech fiber and spikes are. And the bolt is going to stick there, but it doesn't seem to hurt him at all. That's freaky. All right, we're going to move to the next round, reroll initiative, and look at that. Worst to first. Kitikari, go again.
Well, I'm really irritated that he did not take damage. So I'm going to do the exact same thing. Oh, I'm going to get closer too.
Okay.
I'm going to get like here.
If you get right up on him, you won't be able to shoot your crossbow.
I want to be as close to him as I can and still shoot him in the head.
All right. Actually, if you move up here, he won't get that extra point from the pylon.
Okay, perfect.
Reload as you move, and pow.
I'm going to use a Benny to...
You're going to use a Benny. Do it. Do it.
Okay.
Ugh. Oh no! All right, so he's going to duck past that one. He saw that shot coming. He is way quick. He shouldn't be that fast. It's not good. Karks, it's your turn, buddy.
Can I get from my position and get up on him and make a melee attack?
Where are you? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah.
I'm going to do that. Can I use a Benny to enhance my attack?
You can wild attack to enhance your attack.
Okay.
I think I can't recall anything a Benny does for you besides let you reroll.
Okay. Alrighty. Wasn't sure. So I'm going to charge in and thrash him with the spiked forearms.
Nice.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Whoa. Oh.
Whoa.
Oh. So that's a wild attack and a hit with a raise. So roll me some big damage.
Raise damage on that?
Yes, sir.
Whew.
Oh my. And did that add the +2 for wild attack? It did not. So we've got 14 damage incoming on this guy. So he's going to take a wound. He's going to take his first wound. Now, the bad news is this guy's got an edge called Nerves of Steel, which means the wound won't be causing him a penalty to his rolls. But he does take it. You do bleed him. And the system thinks he's dead because why? He's supposed to have 3 wounds.
He dead.
Awesome.
All right. I have no idea why the system is doing that. He's alive. I'm going to write it on paper. He has 1 wound. I'll worry about what the system is doing another time. That said, yeah, you do shred him real good. And it is Lily's turn.
All right. I would like to move so I can, or move up, I guess, so I can not have any detriment to my shot.
Yeah, you got friends in the way in that middle spot. 3, 4, 5.
Shoot through.
You can get over here though.
All right.
Because this guy's very dead. So.
All right. Am I able to do?
If you were JR, you'd just shoot.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a shot. Here goes nothing.
That's a hit. Give me some damage. Oh, the pain.
Okay.
Yep. He's going to take his second wound. He is just like you guys. He can take 3 and be up. The 4th one will put him down. It is his turn. He is having a bad day. He shot his big spike thing, and it didn't kill any of you guys, which is not what he expected. So he is going to pull a big old longsword out. He probably had that out. And he is going to try and, let's see, he's going to move over here and try and stab Kitikari because he's a bastard, thinking that you will deal with your wounded. And he is going to wild attack. And he's going to roll a 6, which is just enough to pop Kitikari, who has a parry of 5. Had he not wild attacked, he would have missed. Oh my. Kitikari, this
That's
is
a
bad.
lot.
Yeah, depending on what happens next, this might be a bad one. You've got a toughness of 5. And you have a wound incoming for every 4 that he beats that by. So 9, 13, 17. You have 3 wounds incoming.
Ooh.
Yeah, which means that you can spend a Benny to get the privilege of rolling a soak roll to make one or more of them go away. Every 4 points you roll gets rid of a wound.
All right, I'll roll a Benny.
Yeah. It does mean you need to roll an almost impossible 12. But let's see what happens.
Wait to get them, but I can reduce some of them. Right?
Yes, absolutely you can. You should.
We believe in you, J Mac.
All right. So what do I roll?
You're going to roll your vigor.
Vigor.
Yeah, it's one of your
I wonder how
attributes
many
up above your
X70s
skill
drug
list.
addicts we're destroying by constantly referring to Ben.
Uh-oh. So I have to ask you, you do have bennies left. Would you like to benny that soak roll?
Yeah. I'll spend the last one.
Take all of them.
Okay. Good luck.
Oh,
Bless America.
No.
Rest in
Oh,
peace.
no. A critical
Well-
failure. That's awful. Okay.
This is where that medic character comes running in at the last minute to save everybody, right?
Okay. So
Maybe this will give the chat audience the blood they've been asking for so long.
yeah, so what everyone's going to see is Spike actually takes his left hand, shoves Kark's back, and then in a classic lunge, spears Kitakari right through the guts and actually twists around. Kitakari, you're going to take... I'm going to go with the critical failure being an extra wound because I'm feeling like a douche right now. You're going to go down with 4 wounds with blood and guts streaming from your alien torso.
Aw.
Yep, which means we're going to make a roll here in a minute. Let's see. What is going on in the chat? There we go. I will look up the rules in a minute to see whether you're alive or dead. Because in Savage Worlds, when you take that 4th wound, you make an incapacitated roll to see whether you instantly died, are bleeding out, or are otherwise affected, like if you get cut off. As it is, Spike is going to roar at the sight of blood, and his last outlaw buddy is going to come along this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Making his way towards the door, but he's going to try and pop Garth right in the side of the head with his pistol.
Whoa.
Uh-oh. That's a hit. It's not a raise. 1 point off of what he needed for a raise, so we're going to roll regular damage. 10 damage, and I believe his pistol has an armor piercing of 1. So... yeah, Garth, you've got 1 wound incoming. And are you out of bennies?
I'm out of bennies.
Okay. Yep. You're going to take 1 wound then, and that also means you're shaken.
Okay.
All right. It is Garth's turn. The system is going to auto-roll for you to see if you unshake, which you do. So you are at -1 to all things because of your wound. The system will automatically calculate that. What would you like to do?
I'm going to throw my torch at the guy who just shot me and then shoot him as I throw it.
Okay, do you want the torch to actually be an attack or just like a cinematic thing?
I want it to be an attack.
Okay. That will be an athletics roll for throwing at -2 for the multi-action penalty. So it's going to be a tough one for you, but let's see if you can do it.
I got this. Maybe not. Maybe.
Okay. Well, with the -2, you don't. That's going to land at his feet and not set him on fire the way you wanted.
Okay, now I'm going to shoot him.
Okay. Let's see if he's distracted. Ooh. Oh. Ah, look at that. That is a hit with a raise, even with your -2. So roll me some big damage.
I shall. Let's see. There we go. Raise damage? Or just
yes.
Damage? Yes. Not great. Enough.
All right. Yeah. So what happens is you like chuck the torch at his feet. And he flinches aside, looks up at you like, what the hell? And then you pop him in the shoulder. Blam! And he's like, ow! Ow! What are you doing?
Can't believe you shot me.
All right. We come to the next round of combat. Let's see.
Wow.
And Spike is going to go first.
It's not on you guys.
Yeah, I think he's going to try and take out Karks and then move to the next target. So he's going to wild attack Karks, having no idea that you're a wild card, as you do.
I'm glad I have a couple bennies left.
Well, the dice are not with him because a 5 isn't enough to penetrate your attack, or your defense, rather. You're able to get your arms up and cross them and take the tough swing of the longsword and not get hurt too badly. I mean, it stings a little bit.
Go gadget 4-armed blades.
Yeah, the bad news is I've got one more Benny for him, and I'm going to use it, and I'm going to re-roll that roll.
Whoa.
I'm going to flip you off in my mind.
That's good because he's on the other screen, so he can't see you.
All right, and an 8 is going to be enough, just barely, to get you. He is on +2 to his damage roll because of wild attack. Okay, so with 13 damage incoming, your toughness is 9. That means you've got a wound incoming, unless you have a Benny to pay me for a soak roll. That's what I like to see. Let those hit the floor. Those are mine.
What am I rolling now?
Roll vigor, please.
Vigor.
Oh, just enough. All right, so the edge of the sword slides along your arms, and it does cut you, but like you have stigmata anyway, you're always bleeding there. It's not substantial enough to count as a wound. Like later, you'll have the John McClane effect where you're all tore up and bloody looking, but mechanically, you're cool.
Okay.
Really,
As long as I had the Beretta taped to my back.
Yippee-ki-yay. Lily, it's your turn.
Lily will cast use the fear power.
Ooh, nice.
And here goes none. Oops.
I assume you're using it on Spike.
Damn.
Oh, look at you. Yeah, power is cast with a raise. So he has to make a roll on the fear table, which I've got in here somewhere, I think.
So, Sean, real quick, while you're looking for that, James's character is incapacitated.
Yeah.
So he is currently bleeding out at the start of his. So when his card comes up, he gets to make a roll. If he does a critical failure, he dies. If he fails, he rolls on the injury table. The injury is permanent, but he's still bleeding out until somebody stops the bleeding.
Oh my goodness! Yep, it's gonna be bad.
Success means he rolls on the injury table, and the injury goes away when all the wounds are healed. And raise, he rolls on the injury table. The injury goes away within 24 hours.
We'll find out what happens because that turn is coming right up.
I call dibs on his gear.
That never happens.
I got one. Yeah. All right. So the roll didn't let me include the +2, which you're going to scare the absolute bejesus out of Spike. His eyes are going to roll over white with panic. And at the end of this, if he lives, he's going to have a major phobia for the rest of his life. That's how badly you get him. Had I rolled one more point higher on that table, he would have had a heart attack on the spot. So, yeah, he is overcome with fear. I'm going to put a little icon on him like so.
Wilhelm scream.
All right, this outlaw over here, it is his turn. And he has had enough. He's been shot. Oh, he's shaken. So I'm going to roll for him. He's going to stay shaken, which means all he can do is move. He is noping out. He grabs that torch and nopes out the door. He is leaving.
By the way, I am pirating that expression.
Noping out?
Yep.
Nope. Garth, what would you like to do there?
I'm going to go ahead and take a shot. I'm going to move to stand over this body and shoot Spike.
Okay, so you're shooting over the fallen body of Kitikari.
Yeah.
Just don't shoot my hat off.
Well, you're prone, so that helps. All right, that's going to miss, and you're out of bennies, are you not?
I am.
Okay, yeah, it's that corroded revolver, man. It doesn't have a good action on it. It's hard to shoot. It's really unfortunate. Next up, we have to get around to Kitakari's roll.
So am I dead?
Well, this is where we need to have you make that roll that he was talking about to see what the actual effect of your incapacitation was, right?
Which stat do I roll?
Let's see. We're gonna make
It's a vigor check.
Yep, it's a vigor check, and you're at -3 for the wounds you're carrying. So in the little stat box, you can either type the -3 or we can just take it off by hand after you roll.
Yeah, -3.
Oh!
Wow.
Okay.
Survivor.
It's actually on there twice because the system had it on there automatically for us. Thanks for whoever designed this system. It's the first time I've used it in Foundry. It's pretty amazing. So what you actually rolled was a 7, right? And on that means a success, but not a raise. That means we're going to roll on the injury table.
I got it up right here if you need it.
Yep. Go
Your
ahead.
hang's gonna be broke.
Well, what this means, though, is you're not dead, and you're not even bleeding out, and you're not taking a permanent injury. So that was a sweet, sweet roll.
So
all
do I
right.
take wounds off?
No, you're still down and unconscious, but this is how you lose characters, and you just kept yours.
Okay.
However, in the Foundry chat, I need you to type something for me. Type /R space 2d6. And that will roll 2 6-sided dice for you.
It's not letting me.
All right, I can do it for you if that's cool.
Thanks.
All right, so that's rolling on the injury table in the Savage
10.
Worlds rulebook.
Yep.
Which means that you are legged. You would gain the slow hindrance until you heal all of those wounds, which isn't going to happen during this game. Basically, you're going to have a bad day moving around once you're awake again.
Okay.
Mac, you've been gamped.
Yeah, and to be fair, had you rolled a couple points lower on that incapacitation roll that we did first, you'd just be straight up dead. So,
Yep.
Yeah,
you did good. Karks.
I am gonna just try to go completely batshit crazy on this
Yep,
guy.
he's cowering. He is completely freaked out because of Lili's fear spell.
Okay,
Or power.
I'm doing a wild attack.
Oh my!
Can I re-roll that?
Do you have a Benny?
Yeah.
Do it. That's what they're for.
Here we go.
Better.
That's a hit.
Okay, raise damage, right?
No, it's not a raise.
Okay,
But you're going to get 2 extra points for your wild attack.
I'm making an attack roll or a.
Roll a damage roll, and we'll just add 2 to it. All right, so 9 plus 2 is 11, which is going to shake Spike, but not quite beat his toughness.
Damn it.
Yep. Now we come around to the next turn, and we reroll initiative because that's how Savage Worlds works. And Kitakari is out of things, so it does not get a turn. Garth Hernandez is next.
I'm going to use a persuasion trick, and I've been through enough towns to know law enforcement and the things that they say, the modern equivalent of "show me your hands, get down, you're going to die right now." And since he's freaked out, and the other effect that he has, I'm going to use persuasion to get him to go spread eagle on the floor and surrender.
Yeah, I like that. That's creative. I'm a fan of that. Why don't you give me a persuasion roll to see if you can break through the haze of abject fear that Lili's got him in? That's going to be a tough one.
Here we go. Probably not.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty rough. All right. And I need to roll. That's an opposed roll. It's against spirit, is it not?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
Probably
he's going to
not.
beat that too. So, yeah, I mean, the deal is you're doing your bet. You submit, you're under arrest, and he's just...
Stop resisting!
Yeah, you're not doing a bad job. He's just completely out of his mind with fear. Speaking of which, it is his turn. He's going to unshake. And the deal is that he is terrified. So he is leaving, which means that Karks is going to get a free attack as he goes running off this.
Can I try and tackle him to the ground?
I think the official Savage Worlds rules no, but as far as I'm concerned in this game, sure.
How do I do that?
Yeah, if there's anyone in the chat that's upset that's outside the rules, I think it's awesome. So make an athletics roll for me.
Okay.
Or actually, no, fighting roll. Straight fighting roll.
And he trips and breaks his ankle.
Oh, that's a 3. That's going to miss.
Damn.
So you grab for him, and he is going to book it. He goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and he's going to take a running roll, which is a 1d6, to see if he can get any farther. Oh, yeah, he has got the fear speed, 2, 3, 4. He is on the way out.
And the whole time I'm yelling, "Stop resisting! Stop resisting!"
Yeah, and he is running like all the demons of every fantasy world game we've ever played are following him. He is screaming. And the other outlaw out there in the hallway thinks that he's chasing him. and you see the torch receding. Leave me alone, Spike! Leave me alone!
Oh, God.
Lily, it is your turn. Your fear power has been pivotal. What do you do?
You muted, Boomer.
I'm thinking out loud.
That's what they call it now.
Yes. You gotta understand your boomerese.
Look here now.
I'll see if I can. Can I move to where I can see him without running, or will I need to run?
Let's see. 3, 4, 5. You can get right there.
All right. And wild strikes only is in melee, right?
Yep. Afraid
right.
so.
I'll do my typical boom boom,
Alrighty.
and I will shoot the ground.
Afraid so. Do you have any bennies left?
Sure, let's do that.
Throw the gnome at him. Wait, no, wrong game. Whoa.
6 is a hit, so go ahead and roll me some damage.
That's disappointing.
Oh, yeah. 6 damage doesn't get through his toughness. He's got some kind of weird butcher tech thing going on under his skin, not unlike Karks, which is weird because from what the other guy said, he was human until he got that stuff growing on him. Karks, it's your turn.
Can I run after him, catch up, and do an attack?
Here's the way it works. You can move 6 spaces for free. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In Savage Worlds, when you take the run action, which you can do once a turn, it throws a -2 on your attack, and you get to roll a 1d6 and move that many squares.
Can I shoot him from here?
You'd have to pull your gun back out, but sure.
So what do I need to do that?
So it's going to be a -2 either way, whether you run or try and catch him and shoot. But this is more of a sure thing because it's possible you could run and roll a really bad running dice and not catch him. So,
okay, at least maybe I'll clip him and slow him down.
Yep, take a shot.
So, -2 shooting, bang.
Oh no!
I shoot the ceiling.
You do, and all this weird drippy butcher resin flows down, and it's totally gross. Next round, it is Garth.
Stop the bleed on Kari.
Okay, and there's also this kid over here, remember, with all these creepy metallic industrial arms starting to come down towards him with buzzsaws.
Oh, that's still happening.
Yeah, and you got the Joker, so anything you do this turn is at a +2.
Then I'm going to go stop that.
Okay. You can get over there, and you're going to need to make an athletics check to safely tear the kid out of that machinery.
Sure.
Ooh, boxcars. Nice.
Wow.
Dude,
Like a
okay,
boss.
so with the aid of the Joker, with a surge of energy, you carry your wounded self up there. You swarm up the machinery to where the arms have lifted this spread-eagled kid as they were just about to flay him open and start implanting weird stuff. And when you grab the kid, and you actually move some of the arms out of the way with a burst of wild strength, and you get the kid down without doing any further damage to him. He wraps his arms around you, and you get him to the ground safely. And as the kid stops contacting the machinery, all of it goes dark and goes limp, and you hear kind of the sounds of the grinding and stuff that it was making starting to fade. Whatever process Spike put in motion is now stopping.
Nice.
Yeah, that's awesome. Good job. Lily, Spike hasn't gotten a turn yet, so he's still right there. What do you do?
Well, I will
Can't
do
you do
my
like horse trip?
no.
Then
Not
you're
the-
useless.
Yeah. So, being my useless self, I will shoot him again.
Okay.
Then you shoot my hat off.
Oh, man. Lily, are you out of bennies?
No. Reloading and going again.
All right, that's a hit. Roll me some big damage. Down he goes. You shoot him in the back. He slumps down, trailing blood over the resin wall. As you approach to make sure he's dead, you see him take his last breath.
Best
And
way
I
to
would like
shoot
to have
somebody.
you heroically shoot him in the back.
And what happens as you're standing over him, Lily and Karks, making sure that he is not going to be a problem anymore, is as you watch, all of the spines retract, leaving this weird, almost jelly-like thing attached to the top of his shoulders and neck. And as you watch, it flexes, falls off of him onto the floor, and just sits there pulsing. Spike is dead, but the Butcher
Dibs.
Tech is alive.
Dibs.
Dibs.
So that is where the demo ends, with the group needing to decide what to do with this very dangerous piece of Butcher Tech. What you would know if we made common knowledge rules is that Butcher Tech can give you crazy powers, but it can also drive you mad. And you have to find the right surgeon who is both willing and able to implant it in you. Although from what the dead bandit told you, it sounds like this one will crawl on you of its own accord, which is even creepier.
I think we put it on J-Mac.
Yeah, I was thinking that. Put it on him. See if it heals him.
But yeah, this demo ends with you guys going to the surface with your wounded and a successfully rescued young Trent Wong, who you can reunite with his father. And in time, there will be riches coming your way.
We got
Nice.
horses. We got alien tech.
Yeah. Like
One guy.
as we cut to the credits of you guys going on your next adventure, you're all riding horses. You know, you've got some new scars, new weapons, some new gear, and headed off over the range towards the mountains on your next exploration. Good job, everybody.
Hey.
Nice. Well run. Really fun game. I dug that.
That was
nice.
awesome.
Thank
Nice,
you.
fun new
Yeah, I like
take
it.
on the apocalypse that wasn't. It was unique. It was. I really liked it. It was a good way to look at the other side.
You know, that's what I kind of like about it when John brought the concept forward, is that it scratched that post-apocalyptic itch, but I feel like it kind of filled a niche that other games didn't. Right?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't have the unremitting horror focus that a lot of post-apocalyptic games do. It steps aside from the traditional supernatural that Deadlands does. I really enjoyed writing for this book. It's been a good ride.
I can see a lot of potential in this game, all the different kind of sessions. I mean, if you're someone like me who likes to go with the kind of the Wild West tropes or storylines, I mean, you could just do so many crazy things with this. It'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, especially because everybody can really take the world and make it their own. If you want it to be completely over the top, you can. If you want it to be gritty and nasty, where people are struggling for every bullet and every meal, you can. You know, the book on its own is kind of written on a middle ground as a baseline, but you can go either way with it based on what works for your group.
All right.
That was the first time I've ever played Savage Wars. I really dig the mechanics. It's fun.
Thanks. It's,
Yeah, I've
it's
already
such
liked
an
it.
easy system, and I like how swingy and crazy it is with the exploding dice.
Yeah.
That was really fun.
I enjoyed it since none of my teammates killed me.
This time.
This time.
My question is, all the Foundry assets and modules, is that something you can download or buy from the...
So what you're seeing here is a combination of the basic Foundry program. Then I went ahead and purchased the Savage Worlds rule set from Pinnacle.
And you just modified it.
Yeah, which is why we had a lot of the cool automation, the automatic unshaking at the beginning of your turn, that kind of thing. That was super sweet. It's worth the money. You should do it.
Yeah.
And then the assets that you're seeing, like the map here, I pulled from the book and actually installed in Foundry myself. So I built the character sheets and set up the scenes and that kind of thing. A couple of these other battle maps, like for the camp and for the facility, I borrowed from the internet, as the best online GMs do, right?
Right. We picked up Foundry a couple of weeks ago for our game, and I wouldn't mind running this at some point. So
yeah, I love it. It's been worth the cost. I migrated from Roll20. And I like Foundry a lot better. I mean, not to slag on Roll20. Roll20 was a good platform when I needed it. But I really like Foundry, and especially the fact that it's still under really active development. We're getting new capabilities every couple of weeks, it seems like. It's really exciting.
It's funny, all the systems that we run don't have any sort of module support yet, but the features, the functionality it brings to the table still is just...
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And you know what? If you're good at coding or have a friend who is, you can make your own modules for it, which is just wild.
Well, Sean, we're gonna be hitting the lights, but we wanted to say thank you very much for coming out and demoing the After, which you can get it from Fainting Goat Games on drive-through and all the usual e-tailers. Really appreciate you coming out, man. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, I had a great time with you guys. You're a lot of fun.
I loved it.
Yeah, I look forward to, if you run this on your own, hearing all about your games. You got to tell me your stories.
Oh, don't you threaten us with a good time.
Fist bump, everybody.
Yeah, there we go. And we have been Sci-Fi Writers playing Old School Savage Worlds. Later, everybody.